Yeah, yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, pacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah, yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. 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 Yeah, yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, pacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah, yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. 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 Yeah, yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, pacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checkered flags wave, dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, box flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay crazy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave, dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, box flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening from the beautiful Circuit of the Americas. It's COTA, baby, and a little bit of road course racing action here for the Wheel to Wheel Racing League. It is going to be a fun one. It is going to be a challenging one for all of these drivers. Have to try to navigate this beautiful racetrack and try to put themselves up and in to a winning position here this evening. As we do have, it's your boy in the chat says, what layout? That is a good question. I believe it's the same layout as the regular Cup Series when they come here. I believe it's the same layout as that. We threw the track map up there onto the thing there so you can get a good look at it. I believe it is the exact same as the NASCAR Cup Series when they come and race here. I'm sure you can tell by the track map there kind of how that layout looks and kind of how the track layout is there. I don't think there's anything different than what the NASCAR Series runs here at COTA, so I believe it's the exact same as that layout format, which is going to be a lot of fun. Going to be some great racing, going to be a lot of tight battles out there, and it's going to be really, really interesting to see what these drivers have in store for us, because these are the type of races that kind of see some drivers really thrive, other drivers really struggle. It'll be really interesting to see who the road course ringers will be, who some of those mid-pack battlers will be as well, and then who may be there towards the rear of the field, struggling, challenging racetrack, challenging left-hand and right-hand turns out there on the speedway here at COTA. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's Harrison Crosby. What's good, Harrison? Harrison in the chat says, ooh, this is going to be a good race. Going to need some strategy, a lot of driver skill. A lot of driver skill is absolutely right. Strategy will definitely be a factor in this one, more towards maybe towards the end of our stages. I believe we will have 2 stage breaks on lap number 15 and the completion of lap number 35. So we do have a couple different stages here where we will see caution flags come out. Everyone will see, everyone kind of get bounced back together, and everyone's going to be stacked up on top of one another again. So even if you have a bad first stage, you can kind of rewrite your history in stage number 2 and vice versa for our final stage of the day. But that final run, out of a 67 lap race, virtually going to be double the length. So it's going to be really a 35, maybe a 34 lap run for that final stint here today, which is going to be a lot of fun to see. It's going to be really, really interesting to see who's going to be able to kind of jump up, make some moves, and put themselves into a winning position so far here in qualifying. It's Jordan Fisher with the quick time here. He's got the quickest lap time out there on the racetrack. Matthew Wood, second fastest. Joseph Smith, Applegate, Landon Burbage, our top 5 so far here in qualifying. Austin Thompson, Evan Stewart, Jack Bulty, Logan Hamilton, and Trent Johns, our top 8 here this evening. top 10 so far this evening, trying to get a good starting spot. Good starting spot could be in line for a good finish, as I believe we only have 21 drivers loaded into the sim. 21 drivers running here this evening. As Anna says, "What's up? What's up, Anna? How are you, Mrs. Alessandro? Coming in showing the love here this evening." Anna, I'm going to be cheering on Mr. Landon Burbage out there on the racetrack, hoping that Landon can get a good run, solid drive here this evening. He's starting in that 5th position, so things could get started nicely for him here today. As Harrison says, "We got any fan favorites tonight? Who's everyone rooting for?" Well, there's definitely some good, there's definitely quite a few fan favorites out there here in this series. I mean, Jordan Fisher's got a lot of fans in the stands that tune in and watch that number 39 ride. Landon Burbage definitely has, well, it's got Anna and Brian in the chat here cheering him on, and we'll see a lot of other fans in the stands cheering on their favorite drivers here this evening. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys jump into the comments section. Let us know who you're cheering for, who you want to see up in victory lane here this evening. As Bill Fisher says, "Have a great race, Jordan." Fish Mom says, "Go, Jordan, fear the fish, she says, as Fish Mom in the chat showing the love as well. Anna and Brian both say, "Let's go, Landon," cheering on Landon Burbage here this evening. Landon going to be looking for a big run here this evening. We do have Applegate still out there rolling as our qualifying session is about to come to a close here. So unfortunately for Xavier Ruggle-Brugge and Nicholas Wheeler, they will not get laps in here in this qualifying session. So they will have to start at the back of the pack, but it'll be fun to see what they're able to do if they can race their way up through the traffic. We see Mickelson and Haller back in 13th and 14th. Man, there's going to be some hard chargers. There's going to be some drivers that are going to fall back, and then there's going to be some craziness. There's going to be some, up and downs here for a lot of these drivers to try and navigate and, work their way to the front here, trying to mitigate traffic, try to find their way to the front and try to put themselves into potentially a winning strategy here this evening. As this is going to be a fun one, man. This is going to be a fun one. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of back and forth as, Anna says Landon, Joseph, and everyone else cheering on all these guys, man. There's a lot of fan favorites. It's going to be a lot of fun to see, who's going to be able to pull this one off. But we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to roll here, ready to rumble this afternoon as you take a look there at the track map. So they are going to be starting this race, not from pit lane or on the front straightaway, obviously. They're going to be virtually rolling for their pace lap back here about midway through this track. So they're going to be about midway through. So that means we can get things going a little bit quicker. We can get things moving a little bit faster here this evening as MC Motorsports says, "Go Ben and Joyce." I believe that is Ben Neats that he's cheering on here this evening. It's the only Ben I believe that's out there. Neats will start in position number 16 here this evening. So Neats there in the 16th spot. Going to be starting back there in that 66 ride. But out in front, starting on the pole in the number 39 machine, it is Jordan Fisher who will start in that pole position. To his outside in the 16 ride, it is Matthew Wood who will start there in position number 2. Starting back in third will be that 31, the Rush Hour karting machine of Joseph Smith. To his outside in the Red Bull Racing number 57, it's Grant Applegate starting there in fourth. Starting back in the 5th position here this evening in the number 37 ride, it is Evan Stewart. To his outside in the 6th position is the 23 machine of Austin Thompson. Starting in position number 7 in the 09, it is 09 is Logan Hamilton. To his outside in the 8th position is Jack Bulte. And then we will see the 29 of Terrence Murphy in the 8 ride of Trent Johns rounding out our top 10. Colby Wells in the 45 ride back in about the 12th position for this start. We do see Ryan Haller right there with him. That 51 of Wyatt Mickelson will move forward a little bit as you see Logan Perriman in the 99. Mr. Jason Bogart there in that Zin number 17 machine. Xavier Bronchi starting back there deeper in the field in his Raisin Canes number 5 ride. We do see Caleb Holloman in that beautiful Dr. Pepper number 77. Stephen Blevins in the Skyline number 15 machine. Nicholas Wheeler's back there in that Napa Auto Parts number 61. Ben Needis there in the 66. We'll start back in 20th, and it looks like Landon Burbage, unfortunately, is going to be serving an EOL and starting at the back of the pack here this evening as we and all of the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here from the Circuit of the Americas. Down into corner number 1 as they wash up the hill. Everyone's going to send it in there. 2 wide, 3 wide, a little bit of 4 wide. As they exit corner number 1, it'll be Fisher with the lead down in through corner number 2 and in to the S's here at COTA as he's going to be looking to try to navigate his way up and through the field here. Oh, man, look at this sight, man. That's a beautiful scene to see right there as these drivers all battling out there on the racetrack. Nice and easy down and through the S's there. We did see one driver run into an issue here with Stephen Blevins back there a little deeper on the initial start here. Blevins pulled down to the infield, way down to the inside right here, and virtually came to a stop entering corner number 1. I think he kind of just got in there at the wrong angle. I think he knew that if he sent it in there, he would probably run into a bunch of drivers, and luckily enough, is able to avoid running over or through anybody and able to keep it pointed the right direction. Now we got a lot more craziness that's unfolding. Jack Bulte's going to run into some issues here. Let's take a look at that 67 ride. As the 6-7 ride looks to the inside here of Evan Stewart, just gets in there way too far, gets into the 23 of Austin Thompson. Big hit there for both the 23 and the 67 ride. Then back behind them, we're going to see some more issues here. Looks like Terrence Murphy's going to get tagged by the 23. He goes around. Look at Mickelson trying to get through there. The 99 with big contact. I believe that's Evan Stewart. Also turned around right there, and a lot of drivers somehow. Actually, that was Colby Wells turned around there as well as Landon Burbage, Evan Stewart. A lot of these drivers trying to work their way through the field, trying to navigate their way up towards the front of the pack here, and unfortunately for some, not really working out in their favors. You take a look here at Landon Burbage. He's down on the apron right there, going over the rumble strips, looking for a big run to catch up to Logan Berriman here, and unfortunately, I believe we're going to see him probably lose the rear end here. Something's going to happen down into this final corner as, yeah, right there, locks it down, goes for a slide, goes for a quick little loop-de-loop right there. I believe Evan Stewart does the exact same thing in the Fish Speed number 37 ride, so he goes for a slide there himself as the craziness here this evening just going to continue to keep on picking up, man. It's just going to continue to keep on getting crazier and crazier. Here this evening is now Caleb Holloman in the 1776 Motorsports number 77 ride. Going to run into some issues here as well. Looks like he's going to get looping around. So doesn't the 66 of Ben Needis. Needis down into the outfield, infield wall right there as the 66 goes around. Unfortunately, does make a little contact. Then we do see Nicholas Wheeler in the 61. I believe he's going to have an issue here coming up. So then he's going to run into a problem as he tries to make some moves here. He's got Landon Burbage back behind him, the 17 ride right there as well. And it looks like he just kind of gets in there a little too tight, has to get checked up a bit. Burbage gets him a little shot there and unfortunately loses that back end. Goes around, gets pointed the wrong direction, and then we're going to see Needis again have another problem here himself. Already a little bit sideways there. We'll see if this is where it happens. He's got some pretty heavy left front damage here on that 66 ride. You can see that damage there on the Fish Speed Brake 66 machine. And right there, there you go. You see him kick it out sideways. Unfortunately, come to a bit of a stop there on that exit of the corner. Luckily enough, no major contact there again, but out in front, just running picture perfect here. It is this 39 ride of Jordan Fisher as craziness to start here at COTA as Mrs. Bronchi in the chat says, move on up, Xavier. Andrea Sue says, let's go, Jordan Fisher, as my boy Harrison Crosby. Harrison coming in with the star, with the party blowers for 500 joules. Coming in with the 500 joule donation. I appreciate that, brother, coming in, setting it off here in this one. Let's get some hashtag Harrison's up in the chat right now, ladies and gentlemen. Hashtag Harrison in the chat for our boy Harrison Crosby coming in with the 500 jewels here this evening. Anna says, Landon Burbage, Joseph Smith, Xavier Rugglebruggy, Ryan Haller. Let's go, boys. Cheering on all the boys here this evening as we do see Zay, unfortunately, looks like he's ran into a little bit of an issue here. Not much of a problem as he's worked his way up inside our top 10, but right here, kind of gets up off the racetrack a little bit in the One Love Raising Cane's ride and sends it in there just a little too deep. Loses that rear end, locks it down, goes for a slide, gives up about 3 positions right there as you saw Jack Buelte, Trent Johns, and Ryan Haller all get around him there. And unfortunately, that will move Zay back into the 9th position. So Zay was running in position number 6 prior to that spin. And for a driver who started at the back of the pack to be racing his way up just outside our top 5, this early on, man, showing that he's got a pretty fast hot rod, man. A really, really good car here this evening, and it's going to be fun to see what the Raising Cane's ride can do once he kind of gets stacked back up, once he gets back tight together with a few more of these drivers as Jordan Fisher, Matthew Wood, 1 and 2 out there on the racetrack, about 1.7 seconds separating Fisher and Wood out there on the speedway. Now, they got a bigger gap between themselves and our 3rd place driver as it's been another 4.5 seconds back from Wood to this 31 ride of Joseph Smith. Smith and Applegate right there, 2 and 3 on the speedway. And then we do see Logan Hamilton back there in that 5th position. Jack Buelte's in position number 6 with Trent Johns now into 7th in that beautiful Black Rifle Coffee Company number 8 ride. Xavier Rugglebruggy rolls there in 8th as he's worked his way back around the old El Paso number 60 ride of Ryan Haller. Haller now into 9th. He's got his teammate Wyatt Mickelson back behind him in that 10th position. Colby Wells looking to keep on marching forward, and so isn't Landon Burbage. Is Landon once again trying to navigate his way back up towards our top 10 here on the speedway. Evan Stewart's there in 13th, and then we do see Terrence Murphy there in that 14th position. But man, there's been a lot of drivers that have ran into early problems, early issues here. We did see Logan Perriman have to take his Quaker State number 99 ride down pit side here, make a pit stop back on lap number 3, but luckily enough, not too much damage there for him. But we do see Austin Thompson in that Black Honey Barbershop number 23 machine, I mean, was having himself a great start, a great run here early on in this race, and unfortunately now finds himself deeper in the pack here. Unfortunately, way back there, now multiple laps down after that early race issue and that early contact, unfortunately, has him parked down pit side, and unfortunately, that's going to hurt, man. That's going to, cost him a lot of good points here this evening, and he hasn't rolled back out there, so he's already multiple laps down, which are going to be pretty much impossible to try to gain back here this evening as Logan Hamilton ran into some issues here. Let's take a look back, see what happens to Mr. Hamilton. We also saw Evan Stewart back off the track as well, but let's take a look. Hamilton was running at the time in about the 5th position. He's still in 5th, but unfortunately, may just cooked it in here a little too far, loses that rear end, goes for a slide, goes for a quick little loop-de-loop right there as he was trying to chase down Joseph Smith in Applegate. Now, luckily enough, he had a good enough gap between himself and Jack Buelte that he did not lose a position out there on the speedway. But then we do see Caleb Holloman not too long afterwards, the 15 of Blevins up and off of that final corner here. Unfortunately, they're a little bit more of an issue for the 15 ride, but for the 77, we saw him already go around once here in corner number 1, and I believe corner number 1 may get him again. No, he's keeping it straight right there. I mean, it's on this lap. It is very, very soon that he has another issue here. So we'll keep it on this 77 ride. See what happens here to the Dr. Pepper machine because, I mean, oh, there it is. Okay, gets up onto the rumble strips right there, gets sideways, goes for a slide down through the S's. Luckily enough, no major contact. No one else got a piece of him there, and he's able to get rolling again on the racetrack. So that's a great break there for him. Now, Wyatt Mickelson has also ran into an issue here. Let's take a look at the Fish Speed number 51 ride, that Tracker Boats machine, as Mickelson going to send it into corner number 1. Now he's got Wells right there behind him. Burbage is right there as well. Burbage gets to the inside. Looks like Burbage might get a little piece of that left rear quarter panel. Just get him sideways there. Virtually stopped on the racetrack. That's where we see the crash aspect of it, as we do see Austin Thompson finally roll back out onto the racetrack. Good to see Austin getting back into the battle here this evening, but Jordan Fisher out in front, just pulling away now from Matthew Wood. Wood was trying to hang with him, but unfortunately he's now falling back outside of 3.5 seconds between himself and this 16 ride. So Wood definitely starting to see Jordan Fisher get smaller and smaller out of his front windshield. Still a big gap though, growing even more, 6.5 seconds between Wood back to Joseph Smith in that third position. Applegate's there in fourth. Logan Hamilton a little farther back there in fifth. And then Jack Buelte, Xavier Ruggelbrugge's there in seventh. He's trying to chase down the 67 ride, trying to work his way back into that sixth position. Trent Johns, unfortunately, has fallen back into eighth in that 8 car. Ryan Haller there in ninth. Colby Wells in 10th. And there's Landon Burbage in that 11th spot on the speedways. It looks like Logan Hamilton got a little sideways again there at a corner number 1. Luckily enough, was able to hang on to it, able to keep it rolling here. As MC Motorsports says, you have great commentary. You should do something similar to NR Night in America, a random night of the week where you throw up 3 stream hosted races where fans can join and race. I mean, we've done that in the past. We've done that. We've been there. I mean, way back in the day. We don't really do that anymore. Almost every single night of the week we have broadcasts. There's only a few days that we don't currently have broadcast on, and that's only because leagues are on a break and they're getting ready to come back in a couple weeks or a month from now. So we try to keep all those days open, and we don't like to really, squeeze too much into there or get something going and try to get something like that onto the list and then virtually have to take it away after a few weeks. Isn't fair to you guys. So we tend not to do that. And plus, at the same point in time, it all depends on what the racing is. We tend to do a lot of dirt track racing when it comes to any hosted races or anything else that we're going to probably stream. I don't think I would do 3 races of asphalt, or at least they'd have to be, 50-lap races, 60-lap races, really quick one sort of deal, because I mean, you don't want to do 2 races or 3 races of this extent where you're going to be, 3, 4, 5 hours, 6 hours up here in the booth. I'm a one-man party up here, so after that long, it takes away, your voice, and we got to save it for the most part for the next race, the next league, the next night, whatever it may be, as Anna says, hashtag Harrison, cheered on Harrison as well. Shout out there to my boy, Mr. Crosby, coming in with the 500 joules here this evening. As Harrison says, that would be awesome, MC. I'd definitely join for that. Yeah, we would definitely fill it. That's for certain. We definitely got a lot of the Peacemaker family between here on YouTube and over on Facebook and Twitch and through our Discord and everything else. I mean, we definitely gain, we definitely have a lot of people joining and having fun and enjoying some racing. And we may throw that in there here and there. Maybe just a one-off or 1 or 2 races kind of deal throughout the night. Well, the only thing is that we need someone in there that, I can really trust and I can kind of work with to kind of be the admin group of the race, because when I spectate the races, I can't control the race, as in giving, free passes or waving black flags or anything else, or even just throwing cautions. I mean, throwing cautions I could probably do, but we don't have voice chat on because we don't want that coming over the radio and into the stream, so we don't have that. So that's another aspect to it that makes it very, very tough for us to do, is you need people in there that can virtually run the races for you, and then I just broadcast them there kind of deal throughout the night. But maybe we'll get something like that going here one of these nights. We do have a little bit of time off on Tuesdays, so that might be a night that we can kind of slide in there, get some fun runs in, and allow some of the fans in the stands to jump in, join the fun here, and maybe not even just iRacing, man. We may even throw in some fun nights of playing other games, some other fun community games, different little hide-and-seek games, or different ones that are free for everyone to kind of play, as well as, maybe Call of Duty or Fortnite Fortnite or Rocket League or whatever other games that the community kind of wants to play. We might start doing a night or something like that of that stuff, because we love to get back into that a little bit more, and not just solely iRacing like we have been for the last couple of years. So we want to start dipping our toes into some of the other stuff again, and who knows, I mean, maybe, I mean, it's been a little while since I've played Call of Duty again, but I mean, I'm sure I could probably start grinding. The fingers are still there. The brain's still there. The eyes are still there. So maybe we start doing some more tournaments again in Call of Duty. And maybe, I mean, hey, if the opportunity arises again, maybe go, maybe start to go semi-pro again there in Call of Duty. I mean, definitely is an option. Definitely is an option there, especially with more things starting to happen here for the Call of Duty community. I mean, we do love seeing that, some of the boys are able to start doing some more tournaments, some more cool things. I mean, DreamWorks and so many other cool tournaments that Call of Duty is actually starting to do now for the Warzone side of things. So we love to see that. As MC says, sounds good, sounds good. You know it, brother, you know it. As Jordan Fisher, though, out in front, just putting a whooping on the rest of the field here as the Fear the Fish ride out in front. I think here tonight everyone's fearful of this 39 ride, as he is looking absolutely stout here in COTA, as Matthew Wood is now falling back about 6.5 seconds from his back bumper. Joseph Smith there in position number 3. He's about 14.5, almost 15 seconds behind our race leader, 8 seconds behind Matthew Wood. So our top 2 have broken away from the rest of the field by a large margin. Smith and Applegate still tight together here in that 3rd and 4th position. Great battle here for that spot as Logan Hamilton rolls in the 5th position. He does have Xavier Roggelbrugge chasing him down here. Roggelbrugge is starting to reel him in. He's worked his way around Jack Buelte. See Buelte just a little farther back there behind him in that 7th spot on the speedway, but Zay's showing that he's got a pretty good hot rod here this evening, man. That One Love Raising Cane's Valvoline machine up and into that 6th position and looking for more out there on the speedway. Trent Johns quite a bit farther back here. Unfortunately, he's about 13 seconds back now of the car in front of him, Jack Buelte. So, I mean, there's a big gap between 7th and 8th. Another 3 seconds back to Landon Burbage. He does have Colby Wells still right there with him. Evan Stewart's trying to work his way around Wyatt Mickelson and Terrence Murphy right here. Great battle for the 11th, 12th, 13th spot here on the speedway. See Ryan Haller right there behind them. But for right now, it is Evan Stewart who jumps back up into 11th. So he's looking to try to make some more moves, trying to work his way a little farther forward here, maybe try to gain some stage points here in stage number 1 if he can chase down Colby Wells, Burbage, and Trent Johns out there on the speedway. It's Terrence Murphy in 12th. He takes that spot away from Mickelson, who falls back into 13th, but Mickelson gonna battle right back down to the inside here of that 24 ride. Haller right there behind him, sending in deep down into our final corner here at COTA, as Nicholas Wheeler back in the 15th position. Jason Bogart back in 16th. Stephen Blevins there in 17th, with Caleb Holloman back in the 18th spot. Ben Needis there in 19th. Unfortunately here for Needis, he's ran into a slew of issues. He's now also fallen a lap down out there on the racetrack. Caleb Holloman, I believe, is the last driver on the lead lap, but he's not too far away from potentially going a lap down here himself. Our race leader, Jordan Fisher, really not too far away from here, probably about 7-8 seconds away from potentially putting Caleb Holloman a lap down out there on the racetrack as well. Now, Logan Perriman, unfortunately, has taken his car back down pit side and out of this race. Austin Thompson, who has rejoined this race after going multiple laps down, rolls here in the 21st position, just trying to salvage something out of the day, get that extra little bit of road course practice in for that 23 ride, see if he can learn something new, see if he can find a different groove or something that can help him out here in the future for the next road course that we head to. So for Austin Thompson, he rolls back in that 21st position, but with Logan Perriman out of this race, he should gain at least that 1 position and leapfrog the 99 of Perriman here. As still a tough break, though. Tough, start to this race for Thompson. Tough race so far for Ben Needis, and for Perriman, obviously already done and out of this race. I mean, very, very tough positions to be in here just after, 11 laps of racing action. Is 11 laps down, man. We're clicking these laps off in a quick hurry. But for Jordan Fisher, I mean, he's just doing his thing here at the front of the field. Almost 8 seconds now between himself and Matthew Wood. I think Wood kind of realizes that. I think he's just kind of settled in here in that second position. I don't think he's really pushing too hard. Not going to make a big mistake here, try to open up the door where he could see, Applegate or Joseph Smith potentially reel him in and try to take that second spot away from him. So I think for Jordan Fisher, man, it's all about just hitting your marks, like Bill Fisher says you keep hitting your marks, Jordan. Well, he definitely is. He's hitting his marks. He's hitting those braking points, making these tight corners look like they're absolutely nothing and cutting through this field like it is butter here this evening as that 39 ride is just absolutely zooming here this evening, as we did see Stephen Blevins unfortunately hit pit road right here as well. So the 15 ride back down pit side here, going to make a stop. We also see Jason Bogart cut the racetrack a little bit. You'll have to kind of roll out of the throttle and serve that penalty, as now we do see Nicholas Wheeler. Oh no, Wheeler got in there a little too deep out of the S's and unfortunately came to a stop right there. Luckily enough, I don't think any major damage for that beautiful Napa Auto Parts 61 ride, but he will have to try to get rolling again here. Now Caleb Holloman going to run into some more issues in the 77 ride as well. So Holloman's ran into problems. He has now also lost a lap as Jordan Fisher has worked his way around him. So for the Dr. Pepper 77 ride, now loses a lap and will now be scored as the first driver 1 lap down out there on the speedway. Now Nicholas Wheeler, not too far away from our race leader here, could also find himself falling a lap down. So couldn't Jason Bogart here as well. As Bogart, I mean, these guys are not far away from seeing our race leader all over their back bumper as Jordan Fisher. I mean, he's dang near on the same straightaway as them right now, man. He is right there, ready to bounce, ready to make a move, and trying to put a few more of these drivers a lap down back behind him out there on the speedway. Is some great battle in here, some great racing this afternoon from Circuit of the Americas. As we do see a few drivers still trying to battle, still trying to duke it out here, as you see the 8 ride of Trent Johns going to fall back into the 9th position as Landon Burbage able to work his way around him. Landon in that Prince's Towing number 2 machine jumps up into the 8th position here on the speedway. We see Trent Johns, Colby Wells, that 37 ride of Evan Stewart right there in 11th as they're trying to work their way forward for the Fish Speed Brakes rides. They're in that 10th and 11th position now on the speedway. Terrence Murphy back a little bit behind them there in 12th. That's where you see Mickelson and Haller there as well. Now they're pretty safe here. I don't think they're going to be at risk of losing a lap, as they got about 35 seconds between themselves and Nicholas Wheeler and Jason Bogart right here, as I believe that is our race leader Jordan Fisher right on their back bumper here, and Fisher still has a lap and a half to go before our first stage comes to an end. So I think for these 2 drivers in front of them, man, they are definitely on the hot seat. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold this 39 ride off for the next lap and a half out there on the racetrack, man. I think they're kind of sitting ducks right now. I think they may even know that, as they're trying to do their best to keep Fisher back there at bay. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that, though, and now they may have to just try to duke it out amongst each other here for potentially trying to stay in that free pass position. Now, unfortunately for Caleb Holloman, he will no longer be in that free pass spot, so he will not be in line to get the lucky dog here once Bogart and or Wheeler both go a lap down out there on the racetrack. As you do see, unfortunately, Bogart does go wide there in that corner, does lose a lap, and will now fall into the lucky dog position. But as they roll back up the hill and towards corner number 1, Fisher will jump to the inside. He'll make the move around Nicholas Wheeler. Wheeler will try to cross him over, but he's not going to push the subject right there, as Wheeler does lose a lap himself and will now be in that lucky dog position, as this is the final lap here of our first stage of the day as the 77 ran into another issue down and through corner number 1, unfortunately making things even worse there for that 77 ride. Bogart unfortunately cut a bit of the racetrack there through the S's, does get a slow down penalty, but that gets in there way too far. Big contact there into the wall, man. That was a big hit for Jason Bogart. Now he's really got to roll out of it here and just try to limp this thing to the end of the stage to try to keep himself in the action. But for Jordan Fisher, he's out in front. He's got 9 seconds between himself and Matthew Wood. He's feeling absolutely A-OK as he's just on cruise control here at the front of the field and now has only 14 other drivers on the lead lap. When we finish this stage and we get a lucky dog, it'll be 15 drivers that will be on the lead lap here this evening. It'll be Nicholas Wheeler that is in line still for that lucky dog position. Now he's got to try to keep Jason Bogart and Caleb Hallman back there at bay. Luckily enough, he's got about 8 seconds between himself and the 2 lap down cars back behind him. But for Jordan Fisher, nice and easy down into the final corner here at COTA. The 39 ride will head down the front straightaway and across the line here at Echo Park Speedway here. I guess Echo Park Automotive is the Circuit of the Americas Speedway here this afternoon. And for the 39 of Jordan Fisher, he will win our first stage of the day. So Fisher gets it done here in stage number 1. And now we get them all restacked up. It's the caution flag will fly for the first time here this evening. So they'll wait for the official iRacing pace car and they'll get ready to get lined back up here. Pit stops and different strategy calls here. We'll have to wait and see. Now these drivers, I do believe pitting did have 4 sets of tires here. So they got 4 sets of tires. I mean, really, you should be good to probably throw a set on here at both stage breaks, probably midway through our final stage of the day. I mean, should be good to only use 3, maybe the 4th late in the race, but you should be good to get tires every single point of this race. So we'll have to see if anyone tries to take a gamble here, tries to save a set for later on, even though there won't be any caution flags in that final stage. Maybe it'll help them out. Maybe having that additional pit stop or additional set of fresh tires maybe could open up the door for them to make some big moves and gain some big positions out there on the racetrack. As Harrison says, Fisher is blitzing this track. He's got some crazy skill. Keep it up. Yeah, Fisher is he's one of the cars to beat, man. Him, Wood, Applegate, some of these guys, man, are just unreal when it comes here to COTA. And we did see Wood actually pit there. Did Wood pit? Showing Wood back in the 14th position. Actually, it shows Wood off the racetrack and out of this race. I think Matthew Wood may have disconnected, chat. Matthew Wood connection dropped due to upload packet loss. Oh, no! Oh, no! That is a heartbreaker for Mr. Wood, our second place driver here in stage number 1. As upload packet loss unfortunately drops his connection here from the server. He's gonna have to reload in and hope that he doesn't lose a lap, that he can somewhat stay in this race. But I believe he's already being scored as a lap down, and I don't even know if he finished second in the stage. I think he lost connection on lap 14.75, so he did not finish our second stage, so that gives our second stage point there to the 57 of Grant Applegate. Smith will finish the stage in 3rd. Logan Hamilton in 4th, and Xavier Roggebrugge will round out our top 5 here in stage number 1. Jack Bealty, Landon Burbage in 7th. Colby Wells in 8th, Evan Stewart back in 9th, and Trent Johns will round out our top 10 here in stage number 1. As Andrea Sue says, amazing, Jordan. Fear the fish, he says. Fish Mom says, amazing, Jordan. Great job there to Mr. Fisher, picking up the first stage win of the day. As Bill says, that a boy, Jordan. Says, that's too bad, Matthew. Yeah, that's a tough break there for Mr. Wood, man. That is a tough break. Harrison says, no Wood. Unfortunately, Mr. Wood may have a little bit of softwood here today because that one definitely would make anybody flaccid, having internet connection issues and missing out on having a good race, a good battle, and obviously already missing out on stage points and potentially missing out here on his chances to win this race as he has now fallen at least one lap down. If he can't rejoin here in the next handful of seconds, he may lose a second lap out there on the racetrack as well, as I believe our race leaders will virtually pass where he disconnected on the racetrack. So I'm not sure if his internet completely went out or if it was just something that kind of kicked him out of the stream, out of the server, but nonetheless, he has not loaded back in, and now our race leaders have virtually went around him again. He is now 2 laps down out there on the racetrack, man, and that's going to be dang near impossible to get back. It's going to be dang near, I don't think there's any possible way to really gain 2 laps back here with so many other drivers already 1 lap down. I mean, Nicholas Wheeler will get the lucky dog, but I mean, even with only 1 more stage break, I mean, that's a free pass on the line for Caleb Holloman or Stephen Blevins, Jason Bogart, one of those other drivers, excluding Matthew Wood, who's still missing out there on the speedway. So he may even call it a night there. As a heartbreaker there for the 16 riders. Here we go. Everyone hits pit road. I thought at first maybe Wood, kind of split the stage up, maybe pitted there a couple laps before the stage ended so we could kind of leapfrog Fisher here going back to the green flag for stage number 2, but that is not the case. So definitely an interesting one, as Anna Alessandro says. Doing great, Landon. Landon doing a good job, man. Just outside the top 5. They're in stage number 1 for the beautiful number 2 ride. And here he is trying to get a good pit stop in, trying to set himself up here for a good second stage of the day. This time, no EOL, so he doesn't have to go to the back of the pack, but does look like he's going to get some damage repaired. So a bit slower of a pit stop for that 2 ride. He will lose a handful of spots, fall back into about the 11th position here for this restart. But for the 39 of Jordan Fisher, great stop there for the 39 ride. He will now have control of this restart and still of this race, as he has been that reflection of perfection. He's led every lap so far, and he's hoping to keep it that way here this evening, as Applegate now going to be back there behind him in position number 2. Smith will be scored there in 3rd, with Logan Hamilton and Xavier Rungelbrugge rounding out our top 5. Colby Wells will start back in position number 6, with Evan Stewart there in 7th. And we do see Trent Johns, Wyatt Mickelson, Ryan Haller rounding out our top 10. Burbage back there in 11th. Terrence Murphy in 12th. Jack Buelty spending an extended period of time down pit road there in 13th. And then we will see Blevins, Wheeler. Actually, it looks like Wheeler get a free pass. Doesn't look like Wheeler ended up with that free pass. Looks like the free pass may have went to Stephen Blevins here. Blevins back onto the lead lap here. So for the 15 ride back into the action, that's good news there for that 15 machine. Wheeler, I think, is still looking for this wave around. So isn't Caleb Holloman, as both drivers want to get themselves back onto the lead lap. Jason Bogart is down pit side, getting work done to the 17 machine. Wood still off the racetrack and out of this race. I believe Bennett Needis has also left this race as well. So for the 66, oh man, tough break there for Ben as well. So it looks like 3 drivers are all potentially done so far here today, with Logan Perriman already packed up and down behind pit wall. Looks like Ben Needis also done for the day, and Matthew Wood, who lost connection, looked like, I think Wood may be back out there. There he is! Wood is back out there, so Wood has rejoined this race. He is back into the battle. Unfortunately, he finds himself just completing lap number 15, while our race leaders are on lap 17. So he is 2 laps down out there on the speedway, man. That is a heartbreaker for Matthew Wood. 2 laps down now. It's going to be really, really tough to get those laps back. I'm not sure how he may even able to get those laps back to try to get himself back into the battle here this evening. But it'll be interesting to see if he can get her done, if he can work his way back into the action here as we get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to get back after it, ready to go back to battles. I believe Caleb Holloman may have gotten a black flag here. I'm not sure what for. It looks like he does have a black flag, so he may end up having to spend an extended period of time down pit road here when we go back to green flag racing. Now, Nicholas Wheeler also down pit road. Bogart still down pit side here in that 17 ride. Unfortunately, he has now fallen a couple laps down here himself. As Applegate, Fisher, rest of this field, man, they are ready to go to battle. They are ready to duke it out a little bit more here this evening from the beautiful Circuit of the Americas. I mean, obviously, Jordan Fisher has looked really, really strong here this evening. Obviously, an incredible first stage of this race, but I think the battle's going to be on here for position number 2. I think this is now... with one multiple laps down, I think this is really, truly going to be a race for that second spot here. I mean, you look at Applegate, Hamilton, Smith, Colby Wells, Xavier Oglebrugge up there. You throw Evan Stewart into the mix. A few more of these drivers that have shown some really, really good speed. Burbage a little farther back there. I think he's got a good enough car. He could be up there battling for position number 2 here this evening. It's going to be a lot of fun to see who will get it, but I think everyone at the end of the day will be chasing that 39 ride of Jordan Fisher, unless if Fisher makes a catastrophic error out there on the racetrack, messes up a restart, or something that really hurts his chances here this evening. I think it's going to be the Jordan Fisher show here today, as we'll get them all ready to roll, ready to rumble, ready to get back after it here. As Anna says, doing great, Landon. Brian says, Landon, keep doing what you're doing, moving forward. He is definitely moving forward out there. As Anna says, yay, Matthew. Yes, Matthew, back in it, back out there on the racetrack. As Rodney Stewart says, I'm late for a very important date. Sorry, got caught up in DC festivities. DC festivities? What in the world you doing in DC, Rodney? What in the world? Oh, I guess it's the fight night or whatever, right? At the White House? The UFC fight there, is that the DC festivities that you're talking about? I know I've seen some things for it, but obviously I'm not watching the fight. We got a broadcast, but you have to keep us updated on that one, or what are the main cars? I don't even know. I don't really follow the UFC anymore. I haven't really watched too much of it since, really, I mean, you look back, I mean, Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey, I mean, those were kind of the last ones that I really even watched. I mean, for real UFC fighting, not the latest thing that Ronda's done or whatever with Netflix or whatever. That was clearly just a money grab for them. But yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I really watched UFC, but I mean, it's pretty interesting. I mean, doing it at the White House, I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's pretty badass, man, to be able to, that's very American. That is the most American thing I could think of, is having an octagon built in front of the White House and having a fight night there, a card there at the White House, which is absolutely awesome. But here we go, back to green flag racing, and for Jordan Fisher, good launch, good jump right there, leads us back down into corner number 1 as Applegate goes way high in that first corner, washes way up the racetrack. That opens up the door for Hamilton and Smith both to get around him, and Applegate falls all the way back into position number 4 out there on the racetrack. Man, that is a heartbreaker there for Applegate as he went way high into corner number 1. And now here comes Xavier Oglebrugge. Zay's in that 5th position. He's looking to join the fun as, Colby Wells! Oh no, Wells blows it through the corner. Luckily enough, no major front-end contact there with the tire barriers, but man, that is a huge setback there for the 45 right of Wells, who was battling just outside our top 5, and now all of a sudden finds himself back here deep in the field. That is a heartbreaker there for him, but Applegate trying to battle back. He has worked his way around Joseph Smith. Xavier Oglebrugge has gotten around Smith with him and worked his way up into position number 4 as my boy Harrison coming in with the 750 joules, coming in with the dono here today. The 750 joules, I mean, already coming in with 2 big donos here this evening for Mr. Harrison Crosby. I mean, what is that, 1,250 joules now on the day? That is absolutely insane, brother. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love, as he says, let him cook, let him cook. We're cooking here today, chat. And I mean, Jordan Fisher, I mean, he's cooking something up there, and it is a big can of whoop ass on the rest of the field here this evening as Fisher out in front just doing exactly what he was doing, man. Just hitting his marks, not making any major mistakes here, and slowly but surely pulling away from the rest of this field. Now, Hamilton doing a pretty good job here off this restart, sticking with that 57 ride, trying to hang with him for as long as possible, and obviously trying to hang with Fisher there as well. But obviously Applegate looking to try to battle back to this 09 ride, trying to work his way back into position number 2. Zane's right there behind him. You'd love to try to join the podium here this evening as Ronnie says, hi, Anna, as Anna says, I took a little break from chat, but I'm back. Hey, we love it, Anna. We love it. We love to see you in here, showing the love and enjoying the great racing here on Peacemaker Gaming. I appreciate you coming in and enjoying the great racing. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit that like button on the stream for us right now. Hit that thumbs up button for us. Hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family if you haven't already. And make sure you guys turn those bell notifications on. That way you guys never miss the great racing action here on Peacemaker Gaming. As Jordan Fisher out in front. Fisher just doing his thing and starting to open up that lead a little bit more as it's grown to about 2.2 seconds between himself and his Fish Speed Brakes teammate, that 57 of Applegate, back into that second spot as he's worked his way around Logan Hamilton. And now here comes Xavier Rugglebruggy, that beautiful Raisin Canes, Chicken Fingers, and number 5 ride of Xavier Rugglebruggy working his way into what could be potentially that third spot here on the Speedway. If you can complete this pass down through 1, he slides up in front of the 09, the crossover out of Hamilton. He'll work to the outside now of the 5 machine, but as they enter the S's, I would say probably give the advantage to the 5 ride, and there it is. He's able to open up on there. Or do you guys maybe want to see that removed? It's something that we've always kind of wondered here when it comes to road course racing. Does the track map help you guys kind of see exactly where they are, kind of see what they're doing out there on the speedway, and who's moving forward, who's moving backwards, kind of deal, or where they are on the speedway? As we definitely want to be able to give you guys that kind of great racing and great action out there on the speedway. So we'll have to see that as going on here with YouTube error code. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Well, hopefully that is not true. Hopefully that doesn't continue happening. Hopefully that gets fixed. Come on, as Fish Mom says, yes, love the map. You love the map. Okay, that's good to know. The map, I think, is pretty handy, especially for you guys. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. The number in the side of the circle is position. We can change that and make it the number of the car that you're looking for, or we can keep it with the position. That's up to your guys' call. We do have some, opportunities to kind of change that, move that around a little bit. We can also make it into the initials or 3 letters. I'm not sure what 3 letters would look like. The initials would obviously be the driver's initials, so that could definitely make things that much better for you as well. As Harrison says, first buffer of the night. I've noticed, did buffer for everyone in chat or just me? I know there's some issues with the new update. I think that was my end. I think I saw it pop up here on the YouTube end of things as well. So I think YouTube there for a split second had a little bit of an issue, a little bit of a hiccup trying to see that. Position, Andrew Sue, you like the position? Okay. I figured position would probably be the easiest to kind of probably follow out there and not get too confused on, which circle is whose sort of deal. And right now, I mean, it's easy to see where Fisher is. He's number 1 out there, and man, he is rolling nicely here this afternoon. Yeah, we went through a week of hell trying to figure out this update. iRacing's newest update just absolutely murdered all of our settings. We had to go in. We had to do so many things. We spent probably 14 hours going through so many different drivers, back-end things, rerunning script for different programming, even for our motherboard, to be able to kind of try to minimize the data pack loss data packaging that iRacing now pumps out with their newest update. It's just a huge file that it's now trying to pump out at a super fast speed, to where our stream is also trying to pump that to YouTube at a very fast time, and it just can't work. It's just not not capable with the CPU that we have. So it's either upgrading the CPU and spending a bunch of money on that, or just kind of toning the quality down a little bit. So unfortunately, we no longer have the 1440p aspect of things. We've had to turn the bit rate down a ton. As the internet's fine, it's literally down to the amount of data that iRacing now sends to the CPU and how much work the CPU has to do to produce the great action that iRacing produces here. And they kind of murdered us on that one. It would be nice if it went more GPU heavy, not CPU heavy, because when we stream at the same time, that takes a lot of CPU action as well to virtually send that data from the CPU to YouTube. So it's just kind of a big chain that it kind of goes through, from iRacing to the CPU to Streamlabs, and then from Streamlabs back to the CPU, and then through the internet basically to YouTube. So it goes through all these different processes and kind of trying to move this large amount of data around. And we saw a lot of skip frames, a lot of data loss because of just how much it was, and we couldn't pump it out quick enough. So we had to do a lot of crazy things to be able to figure it out. At least now it's working good enough that we're not getting too much buffering, and it's working pretty nicely here today, and obviously for last night after we kind of refreshed and did a couple more things that I figured would work. So it's good to see that it is working nicely and that it is producing some, obviously good quality. Hopefully it's good quality. Hopefully things look clean. Hopefully it looks, fairly crisp and not too blotchy, or seeing, different things or anything else. So hopefully it's just good, nice, picture for everyone to enjoy the racing here at the quality that it should be here on Peacemaker Gaming. Is Fisher, though, out in front, just doing his thing here at the front of the field. Still out in front, rolling here about 4 seconds in front of Applegate. Is Applegate there in second? Xavier Roggelbrugge rolls in third, and now up and into position number 4 for Evans. Stuart Evans worked his way up into that 4th position here. So the Fish Speed 37 ride really showing some good pace here in this second stage as he's worked his way up and into 4th. Landon Burbage now into position number 5. Right there in front of him is the 2-lap down at number 16 of Matthew Wood. There is Wood, just showing that, he's still got the speed, he's got the pace here, and that he'd have a good car to battle back to the front. Unfortunately, the only way he can get back into this race is he's got to race his way all the way to the front of the field, as we did see Colby Wells. Yeah, Wells ends up with a black flag right here. Kobe Wells has a black flag. I believe Caleb Hallman now has a black flag as well. That's a heartbreaker for Wells, and you see some pretty good damage there on that car as well. So unfortunately for Kobe Wells and Hallman, it's going to set them back a ton here this evening, man. Heartbreaker for both of those drivers, and that's going to set them back even more here this evening, as Trent Johns there in 7th. Jack Bulte's in 8th. Unfortunately here for Joseph Smith and for Logan Hamilton, they have both fallen back into about the 9th and 10th position here on the speedway. So for 2 front runners that were up battling inside our top 5 here in stage number 1, now just trying to hang on to top 10 runs here in stage number 2. Terrence Murphy back there in 11th. Ryan Holler's in position number 12 with Stephen Blevins there in that 13th spot on the speedway. But Jordan Fisher out in front, continuing to hang on to this top spot out there on the speedway, as Anna says didn't buffer for her. Harrison says last night was perfect. The stream from what I caught earlier was perfect, so I'd say the fixes you've done have definitely worked for the better, and at least to me the image quality is still good. Hey, that's what we love. That's what we love to hear, is that the image quality is still good, that you guys are still being able to see the logos and the cars at a good high rate, not too much blotchiness or blurriness or anything else, as obviously our bit rate going down so much and not being able to stream in 1440p really killed that quality aspect to it a lot more, as we've been running for months with the old update from iRacing. We've been streaming 1440p at say 28 gigabytes a second. without an issue. So we've been pumping out a ton of quality, a ton of bit rate. So we went from 28 gigabytes for bit rate virtually down to 8,000 bit, let's call it 8 gigabytes of bit rate now. So we went from 28 to 8 on the bit rate, and that quality drop and loss has, made it so that we can't do 1440 at that rate. We got to go down to a lower rate, which is 1080p. So I mean, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, when you're pumping out that much in that good of quality, I hate to go back to where we used to be way before. I mean, when we're sitting here with a $7,000-8,000 PC, it's tough to not want to do that. But I think just whatever iRacing's done is unfortunately cooked us here, chat. So hopefully, it just still runs good, runs smooth. We don't run into any more issues, or maybe they revert back whatever they just did to help us out here. And hopefully, other broadcasters, other streamers, I don't know if they were pumping out the quality that we were. Maybe they were a little bit less already, so maybe they've just had to change their bit rate a bit more down, or anything else to hang with iRacing and streaming at the same time. Or maybe they got some other tips and tricks. I'll have to keep reading some forums, try to figure that out. As Fisher, though, out in front, has this top spot. He's feeling A-okay, but the battle's on. For position number 2 is Applegate and Rugglebruggy, duking it out here in this one. Rugglebruggy right there, looking to try to make the move and trying to steal position number 2 here from Grant Applegate. Late in stage number 2 is where quickly rolling towards lap number 30 here and getting closer and closer to our halfway marker of this race, and obviously the end of stage number 2 at the completion of lap number 35. So this is a little bit longer of a run here in this stage. Obviously stage number 1 was 15 laps, but here in stage number 2, go back, green flag racing, I believe on lap number 19, lap 20. So yeah, I mean, really, it is going to be another, 15, maybe 16 lap run here for this stage. So that's going to be interesting to see, as we did see Matthew Wood back down pit road again here, made another pit stop there for that 16 Rhino. I'm not sure if maybe this could potentially give him a wave around here at the end of this stage. Maybe that could potentially get him a lap back, but he's still going to be back there deeper in the pack. As Rodney says first fight goes to Lopez. Lopez with the first win. Okay, Lopez. I'm not sure who Lopez is, but good shit, Lopez. Let's go, Lopez. Lopez with the first fight win on the card. I'm glad they're doing it. The last I heard, a buddy of mine right before the broadcast was telling me that they were potentially going to cancel it because there was some bad weather in the area. There was the potential thunder and lightning, and then obviously they had a lot of mosquitoes and bugs and stuff like that were messing with the cameras. So there was a risk that they were potentially going to postpone tonight's fights. So I'm glad that that's not the case. I'm glad that they're keeping the show going, and that they're getting a chance to battle here today. As we do see, I mean, Caleb Hallman just had a black flag for a while. He's down pit side. He's serving that penalty. He's out. Diego Lopez. Okay, Diego Lopez with the first dub on the card there. And was that the first fight of the night altogether? Was that the first fight tonight? Like, is this like the lower card, not the main card fights right now? Like, is this like the first fights to kind of get the night started sort of deal? If that was the first night, I mean, that could be kind of crazy. I mean, I don't know if there's ever been another actual UFC match, or obviously not a UFC match, but I mean, even wrestling or, actual fisticuffs fight, like a sanctioned fight ever at the White House. So, I mean, for Diego Lopez, I mean, to have the first fight win technically at the White House ever, man, it's going to be a pretty crazy accolade to have there. And I mean, that's going to be huge for him and his family. That's pretty cool thing right there, to be able to hold that you're able to win the first ever fight, on the front lawn of the White House. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Ronnie says, yeah, this was the first fight. That is nuts. That is absolutely wild. As Fisher, though, out in front, Zay does take that second spot away from Applegate. So Applegate does fall back to third. And for the Valvoline Raisin Canes, number 5 machine of Xavier Rugglebruggy, he jumps to the point. Zay now has this second spot here this afternoon and virtually leading this race outside of Jordan Fisher. Fisher's just in his own time zone. He's in a different category out there. He's gone. He's 9 seconds in front of these guys. We might better just give him the trophy now. Let the rest of these guys battle here on the racetrack. Is Zay, though, out in front. Out in front of the rest of the field here in second. Applegate's there in third. Evan Stewart about 13 seconds, 14 seconds back behind these guys in position number 4. Landon Burbage is trying to reel him in, though, as the Prince is towing number 2 machine there in that 5th position, looking pretty strong out there on the speedway. But Evan and Landon both running pretty solidly here in this second stage of the day. Now, Joseph Smith has worked his way back up into the 6th position, so he's trying to race his way back towards the front of the field as Jack Buelty's there in 7th. Wyatt Mickelson in 8th. Trent Johns rolls in that 9th position in the Black Rifle Coffee Company number 8 ride. And then we do see Terrence Murphy there rounding out our top 10. Ryan Haller on the outside of the top 10 looking in as he sits in 11th. Stephen Blevins there in 12th. Kobe Wells back in 13th. And then we do see Nicholas Wheeler there in 14th. Logan Hamilton. Now, it looks like Hamilton's took his car off the racetrack and out of this race. So a heartbreaker there for Logan Hamilton, as it looks like his day may be done here for the Fish Speed number 09 ride. Matthew Wood still rolling out there. That could be potentially another position for the 16 ride to at least gain an extra point there to his back pocket. Austin Thompson still running as well, so potentially another point there for him as well, as I believe Caleb Holloman, still down pit road, has not rejoined this race. Jason Bogart, multiple laps down here. He scored back in the 18th position, actually just passed Caleb Holloman there for the 18th position. Neitz and Perriman both done for the day. So Ben Neatis and Perriman both down and out of this race. I believe Logan Hamilton potentially out of this race. We'll have to wait and see if Caleb Holloman rejoins the battle here this evening or not. But out in front, Jordan Fisher has completed 30 laps of racing action, and now he has just put the Wells ride a lap down. So Kobe Wells, unfortunately, has now lost a lap out there on the racetrack for the 45 ride. His teammate right there in front of him, that's the Fish Speed Brakes machines, were all first and 13th right now. Now we do see the 45 come to a stop there out of the corner. He's going to tow it down pit road. Oh no, I don't know what just happened to the 45, but it looks like he may have just called it a night right there. Towing that thing down pit road and off the racetrack. That may be the end of the evening for him. We do see Blevins down pit side as well there in that 12th position. He does lose a lap and will fall a lap down out there on the speedway. But for Jordan Fisher, I mean, he's just out front. 9 seconds between himself and Xavier Rugglebrugge. Rugglebrugge has pulled a couple seconds away here from Grant Applegate as Applegate rolls about 2.5 seconds back behind the 5 ride now on the speedway. Still 13 seconds back, though, is that 37 of Evan Stewart there in that 4th position, and Landon Burbage rounding out our top 5. Landon still trying to reel in that 37 machine, looking for some more points here in stage number 2 this evening. Joseph Smith there in 6th. Buelty, Mickelson, Trent Johns, Terrence Murphy are top 10, but Jordan Fisher out in front, just doing his thing, man. Just hitting his marks, not making any mistakes, just running virtually, I mean, has been a perfect race here so far tonight, man. He's led every lap. He qualified in that pole position. He has just not looked back at all here today, man. He's just hit his marks, has done his thing, and has just, kind of just continued to pull away more and more and more from the rest of this field. And now as he sits here in this top position and he inches closer and closer to the end of stage number 2 here, looking to sweep our stages and hoping to just continue on this pace to sweep the day, which could definitely be a possibility. And for right now, I mean, he's just feeling A-okay out in front, as Rodney says, let's go Evan. Cheering on Evan here this evening. Is Evan, I mean, doing a great job running in that 4th position. Had a little bit of a rough go there in stage number 1. Got shuffled back a couple times. Did get a little bit of damage on that 37 machine, but he's back into one piece, rolling here again on the speedway and working his way up into that 4th position, showing that he's got a pretty good car and he may be a threat here for this race win once the this stage comes to an end, and we get these drivers all right back together and stacked up one by one out there on the speedway again. As Anna says, doing great, Landon. Keep it up. Cheering on that 2 ride. Burbage right there in that 5th position now. He's about 3.5 seconds back of Evan Stewart. He's been kind of roughly right around that marker, so I don't know if he's going to have enough time to chase down that 37 ride. If Stewart does make a mistake, potentially he can catch up to him. Potentially he could try to steal that 4th spot away from Evan here late in stage number 2. Now they're both very, very far away from our 3rd and 2nd place drivers out there on the racetrack. Applegate has about 14-15 seconds between himself and Evan Stewart, and obviously a couple seconds there between Applegate and Xavier out there on the racetrack. But I mean, still just a massive gap here for Jordan Fisher, as Fisher just continues to do his thing here out in front, down and out of the final corner here at Coda, back down the front straightaway, across the line. He will complete lap number 33 and virtually start our halfway marker here, our halfway lap here this afternoon. As 67 laps, I mean, this is virtually halfway of 66, so halfway through this lap will be our technical halfway marker here on the evening. And for Jordan Fisher, I mean, he's just been kind of picture perfect. Out in front, just rolling smoothly, hitting his marks, not making any major mistakes here, man. Just having himself a very, very strong day here at the Speedway, man. He's just been good all night long, and he's hoping that he can keep it that way, hoping that he can keep all these drivers back there at bay as we inch closer and closer to the end of stage number 2. Stage number 2, not too far away for each and every one of these drivers. Try to jump up here and, have a good battle, man. Have a good race. Just trying to salvage something out of the day. For some of these drivers, obviously already a lap or multiple laps down, that's going to make your day that much tougher. It's going to be very, very hard to gain, any laps back here at Coda. I mean, with only the stage cautions, I mean, it's virtually impossible to really get laps back unless if you race our race leader, chase him down and pass him out there on the racetrack is the only way you're really going to get a lap back. And so far tonight, nobody's been able to pass Jordan Fisher, so I think even for lap down traffic, I think they're going to have even harder time to try to get something like that to happen. But for Stephen Blevins right now, Blevins is in that free pass position for the number 15 ride. I mean, he was down pit road at lap number 30, but he's rolling out here on the speedway, just in his marks, doing what he needs to do here. Last time around, laid down his best lap of this race, which is great to see. He's picked up the pace here a little bit, but now we see Terrence Murphy run into issues. Murphy goes for a quick little loop-de-loop, and for the 24 ride, he now all of a sudden slides back a little farther here, and Ryan Haller trying to inch towards him here. Now still a big gap between Haller and Terrence Murphy, so I think Murphy's still going to be fine there in that 10th position with a big gap between himself and the cars back behind him. But unfortunately here for a lot of these drivers, I mean, still just trying to rebound, trying to battle their way up there. For Blevins in line for the lucky dog, unfortunately for Nicholas Wheeler and Matthew Wood, Austin Thompson, Colby Wells. A lot of these drivers, man, going to be impossible to kind of get these laps back. I do believe Wells has also taken his car off the track. Logan Hamilton still not out there as well. And I believe for Bogart still rolling. So Bogart may pick up a couple more spots here. Now Caleb Hallman has rejoined this race. He is about 10 laps down out there on the racetrack. 9-10 laps down here on the speedway. But for Jason Bogart, I mean, a couple more spots right here in front of him as he will now technically pass Logan Hamilton for the 17th position, with Colby Wells now down and out of this race as well in the 45 ride. I mean, there's a couple more spots here for, Caleb Holloman, for Bogart, both to pick up and gain some extra spots out there on the racetrack late in this race. But for Jordan Fisher, down across the line, there it is, our Stage 1 and our Stage 2 winner, as Jordan Fisher picks up the dub here in stage number 2, man. What a run, what a roll right there for Jordan Fisher as wins both our stages, man. That's a hell of a show right there from that 39 ride as he swept the stages. Xavier Xavier Rugglebruggy. Zay comes home there in second in stage number 2. Applegate will finish the stage there in third. Evan Stewart, Landon Burbage, our top 5 here in our second stage of the day. Joseph Smith will cross the line there in 6th. Jack Buelte will cross the line in 7th. Back in position number 8, it is that Tracker Boats number 51 of Wyatt Mickelson. Mickelson will finish this stage in the 8th position. Trent Johns will finish back in 9th, and Terrence Murphy will round out our top 10 here in stage number 2. But it's Jordan Fisher who's able to get the broom out, sweep our stages, and for the 39 ride, he's just continuing to do kind of what he's done all day long, and that's just dominate here. And we'll have to wait and see if he can dominate here down pit lane. As Harrison says, when it's time for the crank it up, we are going to need to see if Fisher's cockpit, cockpit as he's showing how it's done. It's like he lives at this track. 10 out of 10 performance. Yeah, so far, 10 out of 10 so far, man. He's been absolutely perfect, man. He has been that reflection of perfection all day long, as Ronnie says. Bo Nickel and Kyle Dacus. Second bout about to happen, chat, there at the White House. Woo, okay, that's going to be a fun one. I would say I'm going to put my money on Bo. I put my money on Bo. Bo's a good, strong name. I mean, Kyle, is Kyle sponsored by Monster? Is there a bunch of Monster logos on the pad? Ronnie, if there is, I'm going to go with Kyle, because Kyle on Monster Energy is definitely unbeatable. So, I have to go with Kyle if it is. If there is no major Monster deals around, then I would go with Bo. As Ronnie says, good job, Fisher. Good job there for Fisher. Andrea Sue says, congratulations, Jordan. Huge congrats there to Mr. Fisher. Fish Mom says, way to go, Jordan. As Anna Alessandro says, come on, Xavier. You can do this. Hey, he's right there, man. He's in second. He's shown that he's got some really, really good speed in this 5 ride. It'll be fun to see if he can duke it out here, maybe with Fisher. Put a little pressure on him here on this restart and through our final stage of the day. This is all Rugglebrunky in the chat says, good job, Xavier. Great job. Great race here for Zay. Zay didn't qualify. Started at the back of the pack. We saw him work his way through the field rather quickly there in that first stage. Obviously, in the opening of this race, we saw a lot of issues for drivers, a lot of off-track excursions, a lot of landscaping duty for these drivers in their cars. In the opening laps, and Zay was able to take advantage of that, gained a ton of positions, ran into problems himself as he was just outside our top 5, but still got up inside of the top 5 there to finish off our first stage of the day, and then showed that speed here in this one. Is now, looks like Applegate may have gotten a black flag here as well. It's showing a black flag. Oh, nope, there it is. It's cleared. So I think he may have gotten one and then it was cleared, or potentially someone gave him one for fun, but nonetheless for Applegate, no black flag there. That caught us off guard for a couple seconds, but Applegate's fine there in third. But we are going to see these drivers get ready to hit pit road here for potentially their penultimate stop of the day. I feel like that's kind of where we're going to see these drivers. I'm sure everyone's going to hit pit road right here. Everyone's going to get fuel, tires. They'll get set up here for the start of our final stage of this race, and I believe we'll see at least one wave of green flag pit stops here this evening. I feel like that's kind of where we're looking. That's kind of what we're going to see here, is that, singular run of green flag stops out there on the racetrack. But we'll see Fisher, Rugglebruggy, everybody hit pit road, and now it'll be interesting to see who's going to have the better quick stop, the quicker pit stop. They're trying to put themselves, maybe into the top spot, maybe into the lead here. Okay, this racetrack has that beeping sound as well on pit road entry. We heard that at, where were we? It wasn't Watkins Glen. What racetrack was it? It scared the heck out of us. Oh, it was Mexico City. When we went to Mexico City, chat, there was that beeping on pit road entry, and it was throwing us for a loop because we had no idea what that was. But apparently, I don't know if it's just maybe COTA and Mexico City thing, or if NASCAR's implemented it, or some sort of a league has implemented it, but as a car enters pit road here at these road courses, there's that weird, do kind of sound that pops off there as no monster logo. It is the America 250 design. All right, yeah, that's it. Bo is gonna win it. Bo's gonna win that fight for certain. Bo is gonna win that second fight. That's the call. That's the call. Unfortunately for Kyle, he doesn't have his superpower if they're on the racetrack. As Anna says, "Come on, Burbage, you got this." Cheering on Landon here as our top five all going to stay the same there, down and out of pit lane. As Fisher will restart from the race lead. Zane will be right there with him. Applegate, Stewart, Burbage, our top five. Trent Johns does jump up into 6 here on the starting grid with Terrence Murphy, Ryan Haller, Joseph Smith back there in the 9th spot. So a little bit of a slower stop there for Smith. A little bit of a slower stop for Jack Buelty as well, as he's still down pit side. Looked like Mickelson, a little bit slower of a stop. You'll restart back in the 10th position. For Stephen Blevins, Blevins will get the free pass. The lucky dog back onto the lead lap here this evening. So great news there for the 15 ride. Nicholas Wheeler, he is looking for the wave around here, trying to gain a lap back. So is Matthew Wood. I believe Caleb Holloman is, as well as the 17 of Jason Bogart. Now for Bogart, I mean, he's still a lot of laps down, so really not going to help him out a ton. But for the 61 of Wheeler, that will put him back on the lead lap. For Matthew Wood, that'll put him 1 lap down. I mean, unfortunately, I just don't see if he's going to be able to gain any more spots. I mean, he may be able to race his way up towards our top 5. Maybe as more drivers potentially lose laps, could be more positions that he will gain out there on the racetrack. So we'll have to keep a close eye there on how this strategy call works out for the 16 ride of Matthew Wood. Now, Matthew was last down pit road on lap 25, so he is going to have to hit pit road here pretty soon for that 16 machine, so it may not really help him out too much here throughout this run, but we'll keep a close eye on it. But for Jordan Fisher, he'll get ready to rock and roll. He'll get ready to get back after it here in this one, as this time by the start-finish line, we will see the 1 to go. Some of these drivers will take their wave arounds, and for Fisher, Rungle Bruggy, and the rest of the field, they'll get stacked up 2 by 2 by 2 if they're on the speedway, and get ready to get back after it, get ready to go back to battle here this evening. So we'll get a quick word in from our sponsors here with the KK Woodscapes here this afternoon. So a quick sponsor break as we'll get ready to roll here for our final stage of the day in just a couple more moments.
Here at KK Woodscapes, we only work with the finest woods, the finest tools. We sand the wood here at KK Woodscapes. We stir the paint with a wooden stick here at KK Woodscapes. And then we brush the wood with a wooden brush here at KK Woodscapes. And when it's all said and done, we have these perfectly manicured nails. Put the plaques in the trophies, in the envelopes, ship them to your box, and on your way to you to commemorate your special day. Got wood, KK Woodscapes. Here at KK Woodscapes, we only work with the finest woods, the finest tools. We sand the wood here at KK Woodscapes. We stir the paint with a wooden stick here at KK Woodscapes. And then we brush the wood with a wooden brush here at KK Woodscapes. And when it's all said and done, we have these perfectly manicured nails. Put the plaques in the trophies, in the envelopes, ship them to your box, and on your way to you to commemorate your special day. Got wood, KK Woodscapes. Here at KK Woodscapes, we only work with the finest woods, the finest tools. We sand the wood here at KK Woodscapes. We stir the paint with a wooden stick here at KK Woodscapes. And then we brush the wood with a wooden brush here at KK Woodscapes. And when it's all said and done, we have these perfectly manicured nails. Put the plaque in the trophies, in the envelopes, ship them to your box, and on your way to you to commemorate your special day. Got wood, KK Woodscapes. Here at KK Woodscapes, we only work with the finest woods, the finest tools. We sand the wood here at KK.
Alrighty, here we go, ready to rock and roll, ready to get back after it here this evening as each and every one of these drivers looking and hoping to try to race their way to the front of the field here today. Is out in front, Fisher looking for another big restart, looking and hoping to try to keep all these drivers back there at bay and trying to put himself right back up and into victory lane here this evening as these drivers, man, have, it's been a good race. It's been a tight race, a lot of crazy fun, crazy action out there on the speedway, but it's been nonstop action, that is for dang certain. And here we go, back to battle here this evening as quickly the 39 right at Jordan Fisher, big launch, big jump, he sees that green flag fly, and he's able to just pull away with this race lead back down into quarter number one. It's Applegate who's able to take advantage there with restarting in position number two. Stays to the back bumper of Fisher. They're door to door as they head down through corner number 2 and 3, and now look out, here comes Applegate. Oh no, Applegate pushed it to its absolute limits right there, trying to make a move, trying to find his way around Jordan Fisher. Unfortunately, as he went for it all, it cost him it all. And unfortunately here for Applegate, goes for a big slide, and that one's going to hurt him here. Let's take a look at it. I mean, great run for Applegate right here, man. Takes a big run, jumps to the outside here of Jordan Fisher, and then beats him into this corner right here, and then into the next corner on the outside. Just unfortunately not a whole lot of grip up there, and lose that rear end just that little bit, and that's what allows Fisher to stay in the race lead. And Applegate for the first time here this evening, giving us the best look and the best run at potentially trying to steal the race lead away from Mr. Fisher here this evening, but that does end up costing him from second all the way back to the 12th spot here on the speedway. Now going to have to try to rebound here and try to race his way forward out there on the racetrack. We just saw Bogart there go for a little bit of a slide. Luckily enough, no major hit or contact, and he'll keep on rolling out there on the speedway back in the 16th position here on the racetrack. Caller's right there in 11th, but out in front, it is Jordan Fisher who's got the top spot. He does have about 3-4 car lengths between himself and Xavier Ruggelbrugge as they trying to hang right there with him. Landon Burbage jumping into third now as he's able to take advantage of Applegate's mistake and works his way around Evan Stewart. And for the Prince's Towing number 2 machine, Landon Burbage, looking really strong here, man. He may have something in store for Xavier Ruggelbrugge. I mean, he may even have something here for that number 39 of Jordan Fisher, as you did see, unfortunately for Landon, did get off the racetrack there a little bit. Unfortunately, got a little, bent to the shape through the S's there and missed a bit of that corner. Has to roll out of the throttle a little bit, serve a bit of a slow down penalty here for cutting a bit of the course there through the S's. He's now served that penalty and able to hold on to the third position, but that does allow Xavier to gain quite a bit of a gap there on him and able to pull a little farther away from that 2 right. So he'll have to try to battle all the way back to the 5 of Ruggelbrugge out there on the speedway. But Jordan Fisher holding on to the top spot, man. Another restart, another good launch, and then just picking right up where he left off. Out in front and slowly but surely pulling away from these guys. Not pushing too hard, not trying to pull away too quickly and put himself into a position where, he ends up falling farther and farther back, and he puts himself into a bad spot out there on the racetrack. So, I mean, really just a great piece of driving there for the number 39 ride here this evening. So, I mean, he's just hitting his marks, not making any huge mistakes, not putting himself into a bad position where potentially it could, cost him a good run, a good race here this afternoon. So, I mean, he's doing a fantastic job just kind of dealing with it. But it'll be fun. It'll be interesting to see, what he's going to be able to do and where he's going to be able to try to jump up there, make some moves, and work his way a little closer to the front of the field here this evening. Trying to find something quickly. I'll find that. All right, interesting. All right, but out in front, Fisher, though, continue to hold down the top spot, continue to try to pull farther and farther away from Xavier Rogel-Brugge and the rest of the field out there on the speed wings. A huge shout-out to my boy, Rodney Stewart. Rodney coming in with a $10 super chat. Huge shout-out there to my boy, Rodney Stewart, coming in, showing the big love here in this one with the $10 super chat here this evening, man. Huge shout-out there to Rodney. And again to our boy, Harrison Crosby, as well, coming in with the 200 joules here with the flow state. Flow state, that's exactly the word I would use to describe what state Jordan Fisher's in right now. He is in flow state. He is rolling smoothly out there on this speedway. But a huge shout out to my boy Rodney, says, for putting up with my gabbing. Let's get it, boys. Let's get it. Let's get it, brother. I appreciate that. Rodney coming in with the big love here in this one. As Rodney says, win goes to Bo Nicola. I called that. I called that, Rodney. I freaking called that, okay? Call me mystic, call me a fortune teller. I don't know what to tell you, but we called that, didn't we? We chat. We called it. We said Bo was going to win that fight, and we were right. We didn't even have to look at him. We don't have to see a picture of him. I don't even know who Bo Nicola is. I just knew that he was going to get it done because Kyle did not have his superpower, so we called that. As Anna says, move on up, Burbage. Burbage, he's been pushing. He's been trying his best. He's been looking and trying to slice and dice his way around that 5 ride of Xavier Rogel-Brugge. Unfortunately, he's fallen a little bit farther away from Zay, and we start to see, we start to see 5 ride really hanging well right here. Really hanging well with Jordan Fisher right now. I mean, he is not really falling too far back there, so Zay is hanging with him for the most part, but I mean, that may just be for a corner or two. We may see him pull farther and farther away, but it'll be interesting to see if he can try to jump up there, try to make some moves, and see if he can try to find his way right back into this battle. But for right now, it is still Jordan Fisher just doing his thing out in front, pulling away, keeping them all back there at bay, and hoping to try to put himself up and into victory lane here this evening. As we're going to get ready to jump into our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up, and our Uncle Ronnie presented Crank It Up here this evening as 24 laps left to go. Seems like a good time here with 24 more laps left in this race to jump in to our Crank It Up presented by Uncle Rodney here this evening. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers as we crank it up here at the Circuits of the Americas. Alrighty, shout out to all these drivers. A beautiful crank it up session here this evening from the circuits of the America. Here this evening, it's COTA, baby! And for these drivers, a great Crank It Up session right there. Huge shout out to Uncle Ronnie as our presenter of the Crank It Up here in the Wheel to Wheel Racing League. But for each and every one of these drivers, man, some great racing, some great battling out there on the speedway. And we've been watching one of those battles. The 2 and 37, Evan Stewart, Landon Burbage have been slicing and dicing it back here for that 4th and 5th spot here on the speedway. Unfortunately, Landon did just get a little bit of a yellow flag there, maybe a little too fast and got a little out of shape through one of those S's again. Unfortunately, did have to roll out of it, so that may allow Evan Stewart to kind of close back into the 2 ride, but Burbage trying to hang on to that 4th position. Stewart trying to steal it away from him. And quickly back behind them, we are seeing one of those drivers that was up towards the front of the field, had a mistake, ran into an issue, trying to make the first pass of the day on Jordan Fisher here on that stage 3 restart as the 57 of Applegate up and into 6th here. Applegate has been working his way through the traffic. Now finds that 57 ride up and into that 6th position here on the racetrack. He's only about 4 seconds away from Evan Stewart and trying to pass that 37 for position number 5 here on the speedway and racing his way back into our top 5 here today. As Fisher, though, out in front, just continuing to hit his marks here. Fisher just been an absolute rocket ship all evening long, just hitting his marks, not making really any mistakes at all, and it's just been absolutely picture perfect lap after lap after lap out there on the speedway. And for Jordan, as he continues to lead the charge here, continues to keep these drivers back there at bays, opened up almost an 8-second gap again between himself and Xavier Bragiso. Zay still sitting in that 2nd position, but I mean, being 8 seconds back of the race leader, I mean, he's kind of just in a world of his own once again here this evening, and everyone else is just trying to live in his world here as he just putting on a show here this evening. As they are definitely duking it out back there, Ronnie. As Logan Perriman, what's good, Perriman? Perriman in the chat says, couldn't do COTA. I was way out of my element. I feel you right there, brother. I feel you right there. Road course racing is definitely not my thing either, my man. Definitely not my thing either. I can turn left real good. I can turn right to turn left on dirt track stuff real good. But being able to do these road courses, man, has always been very strange to me. It's definitely been very far out of my element as well. But for Jordan Fisher, obviously, I mean, this is right in his wheelhouse. Obviously, this is his element. He is out in front. He's led now all 51 laps of this race as he heads down across the line. So, I mean, clicks off another lap and inches us closer to our checkered flag here this evening. And I think for a lot of these drivers out there on the racetrack, they're saying, thank you, please put us out of our misery, put us out of this race, and call it a day. And I think for Jordan Fisher, man, he's just having a fun time. He's just enjoying his time here, just putting a whooping on the rest of the field. I mean, he's kind of used to it. He's done this before. He's had these kind of showings before. Unfortunately, sometimes have not ended up in his favor towards the end. But, I mean, for the 39 ride, he has definitely been one of those drivers that can go to pretty much any racetrack, be a force to be reckoned with, lead a lot of laps, be kind of the dominating race car, and still sometimes not quite be able to find victory lane. But obviously here in this one, man, I'm not sure if anyone's going to get a chance, if anyone's going to have a shot at trying to steal this one away from him. We do see Trent Johns down pit side. He's making what could be his final stop of the day, as we should start to see some green flag pit stops here starting to pop up periodically throughout the next 5 laps or so, 10 laps maybe, as everyone will have to make at least one more green flag stop here this evening. So green flag pit stops will be just coming up here in the next little bit. So keep an eye out for all these drivers to hit pit road, and that could be the make or break area. You do not want to get a penalty. You do not want to end up with a 30-second or 40-second hold down pit side and giving up all that time. You may not be able to give back. I mean, for Jordan, even if you give back 5 seconds to Xavier Ruggelbrugge and the driver's back behind you, it still leaves you 5-6 seconds in front of them. So when he does make this green flag pit stop, I mean, he's just got to be super, super cautious. You don't want to try to gain anything on the pit stop, Jordan. You can give a lot back. You just cannot make a mistake, cannot fall that 40 seconds, 50 seconds behind with a black flag down pit road. So I think for the number 39 ride, he's going to know that. He's going to be hitting his marks perfectly here, as I do believe Nicholas Wheeler has earned himself a black flag somewhere out there on the racetrack, so he'll have to serve a penalty here at some point, as we do see Applegate down pit road, so he's making his final pit stop. Looks like Terrence Murphy also hits his pit stop. The crew will go to work and make the final stop here on the day for the 24 ride of Terrence Murphy as well. Applegate gets his service done, rolls back out on the speedways. Now here comes Wyatt Mickelson. Here comes Ryan Haller. They both hit pit road themselves. And as they make these stops, that will be their final pit stops of the evening as well. So still waiting on Fisher, Xavier Ruggelbrugge, Joseph Smith, Landon Burbage, Evan Stewart here to still hit pit road. I mean, Smith, what a comeback for that 31 ride as well to get this rush hour karting machine back up towards the front, and he's actually chased down Zay, and he's put the pressure on this 5 ride. Zay's looking like he's struggling a little bit here at this point of the race, and it's kind of fallen back a little bit, but Joseph has just kind of stayed right in the throttle and has this rush hour karting ride right there ready to pounce, ready to try to work his way back inside the top 2 here on the speedway. So looks like Smith and Zay going to put together a great battle here and a great race here throughout the closing laps of this event for position number 2 here on the speedway. Potentially we could see drivers like Landon Burbage, who's about 6-7 seconds back behind these guys there in 4th, and maybe someone who's already pitted here. Applegate, he's been working his way back up through the traffic. Maybe he could join that battle for position number 2, as well as maybe Evan Stewart, Jack Buelty. They've been right there as well. Maybe they can put their names into the hat here for potentially trying to snag that second spot. Stewart and Buelty both hit pit road here. They'll make their final stops of the day. So we're still virtually waiting on our top 4 to make these final pit stops here. So waiting for Fisher, Zay, Smith, and Burbage to make their final pit stops of the evening. And for right now, Jordan Fisher, I mean, as I said, man, you can give up a lot of time down pit road. You can't make a mistake, though. You cannot get a black flag, even though, you want to keep on this pace. You want to keep putting more and more drivers a lap down, as he does now have Wyatt Mickelson and Ryan Haller back behind him. Unfortunately, they've both already made their pit stop, so they'll get back onto the lead lap here once Fisher hits pit road. But for Jordan Fisher, man, he's got about 12 seconds now between himself and Xavier Ruggelbrugge. You can allot yourself a little bit of that time to give back, to not lose it here with a huge penalty out there on the racetrack. So we'll keep an eye on this 39 and when he decides to finally pull it down pit lane here, and when he decides to make that final stop of the day for the number 39 ride. Xavier, nice and easy down here. It looks like he's going to stay out on the racetrack, but it looks like Joseph Smith will make that hard left-hand turn. He will hit pit road, and Smith with a pretty good entry right there. Hits pit road. We'll have to keep an eye on him, see if there is any penalties here. Looks like Burbage. Oh no! Heartbreaker here for Landon. Sends it in there. Makes maybe a little bit of a later call, or just a little bit of a wider entry here. Shoots it in there. Gets in just a little too deep and slides right past the pit entry right here. So there's a wall there on the outside. See if we can get another angle at this one. So here comes Landon Burbage shooting it in here, just maybe getting in a little bit too hot, and all of a sudden the car just will not turn. It will not turn, and he locks her down. It goes straight as he's trying to make that left into pit road. Unfortunately, just misjudges his speed right there, and that unfortunately put him a little too far there. Has to throw it in reverse, back it up, pull it into pit road. That's going to cost him quite a bit of time out there on the racetrack, man. That's another, 3, 4, 5 seconds that he may have just thrown out the window right there. As there's that beeping again as these guys enter pit lane. But for Landon Burbage, unfortunately, that's going to set him back quite a bit more here in this race. And unfortunately, I believe as things kind of cycled around down. The drivers that were behind him, like Applegate, Evan Stewart, Jack Butte, have all gotten around him. He's now scored in about the 7th position here on the speedway. Now, he may be able to gain a few of those spots back as this race continues on. I'm sure he may be able to track down Jack and Evan, who are only a couple seconds right there in front of him. But you do see Applegate, who's there in position number 4 now. So that little bit of an earlier pit stop for the 57 ride, that lap or two with the fresher tires, and maybe just a little bit quicker of a pit stop puts this 57 ride back up inside our top 4 here on the speedway. So it'll be interesting to see where he's going to come out, as Smith does hang on to 3rd. So we're still waiting on Fisher and Rugglebruggy to still make their final pit stops of this race. And now you gotta wonder, are these guys giving up major time here? Is the tire wear going to affect potentially a couple seconds of fall off here? Will these guys be able to maybe draw them in, leapfrog them here with the fresher tires over a longer run here? It doesn't really seem like it, as we still see drivers still stuck kind of behind Jordan Fisher. They haven't been able to track him down and pass him, so the tires can't be that much better, at least, than what Jordan Fisher's been able to do out there on the speedway. Maybe it bounced them out a little bit. Maybe that just kind of put Trent Johns and Mickelson onto the same page. I think if that's the case, I mean, we probably should have handicapped the 39 ride all day long. No new fresh tires for the 39 ride unless he gets a tire blowout. And then they may have kept the rest of this field maybe in the battle for the win here this evening. I think they'd still have a hard time trying to catch up to this 39 ride, pass him, and steal that top spot away from him here, as he's just been absolutely lights out here. Lights out all night long. And for the 39 ride of Jordan Fisher, down into the final corner, back down the front straightaway, up the hill into corner number 1 for the 39 ride as he completes lap number 56. So we only get 11 laps left to go here this evening. 11 more laps left to duke it out here from COTA this afternoon. And for Fisher, he's just been that reflection of perfection, man. He's been perfect all night long, and he's hoping to try to keep it that way, as Fisher out in front has about 14.5 seconds between himself and Xavier Rugglebruggy. Rugglebruggy just down out of corner number 1 right there. You'll head down into 2 and through the S's here as Jordan Fisher already making his way through, I believe, what is considered corner number 5 or 6 out there on the racetrack. I don't know what corners those are, but he does hit them and doesn't make a mistake. Absolutely perfect once again. Still keeping a couple of those other drivers like Trent Johns and Wyatt Mickelson a lap down back there behind him. And for Fisher, though, he's just sitting pretty here out in front of the field, just on a nice little Sunday cruise here, enjoying his macchiato out in front here, and just putting a whooping on the rest of the field here this evening, as Fisher continues to just pull away more and more from Xavier Rugglebruggy. And it's going to be interesting to see where Zay finally comes down pit road and where that will kind of put him with Applegate, Smith, Jack Bulte, where that will kind of slide him in. Will he be able to stay in front of Joseph Smith? Will he be able to keep Applegate, these guys back there at bay as well, potentially? So it'll be fun to see where the Raising Cane's ride kind of comes down pit road and where he can come back out, where that will line him up here with the rest of this field, as he has about 27 seconds between himself and Joseph Smith. And I mean, that could be a really, really tight battle as he exits pit road, and Smith rolling down this front straightaway, but it looks like they're going to at least do another lap here. So only 10 laps left to go here for Jordan Fisher and Xavier Rugglebruggy. Zay down across the line there, completes lap 57 out there on the speedway. Fisher through corner number 2 here, looking to just keep on pulling away here, keep hitting his marks and doing his thing out in front, as only 10 laps left to go. I mean, for both Fisher and Xavier Rugglebruggy, I mean, you don't really need a full tank of fuel here. You can hit pit road, put 2 tires on, get a half a tank of fuel, just enough to make you 10 laps out there on the racetrack, and maybe that can save you a couple seconds there. I mean, even if it did save you 5 seconds over Jordan Fisher, still not enough for Zay to kind of leapfrog him here. So I think, Jordan Fisher just has to make a catastrophic mistake here, either on the racetrack or down pit road, to open up the door for Zay, Smith, Applegate, any one of these drivers to be able to reel him in here late in this race, as he's just continuing to be an absolute reflection of perfection here this evening, as he continues to lead the charge at the front of the field here, 15 seconds in front of Xavier Rungobrugge. They're in position number 2. Smith rolls in third. Now he's got a pretty good gap, about 10 seconds all the way back to Applegate, who's now in that 4th position. Another 5, almost 6 seconds back to Jack Buelty. They're in 6th. Landon Burbage, another 6 seconds back in position number 6 on the speedway for the number 2 ride. Evan Stewart's there in 7th. Terrence Murphy back in position number 8. As Trent Johns there in 9th. Currently our first driver 1 lap down. Mickelson there rounding out our top 10 in the 51 machine. Rolls right there behind him, though. It's been a good battle between Trent Johns and Mickelson for the 9th and 10th spot here on the speedway. Haller a little farther back from them as he's now back in the 11th position. About 6-7 seconds as he goes for a bit of a slide right there. Oh, no, that's a heartbreaker there for Haller, as that will set him back a little bit farther there away from his teammate Mickelson and that 8 right of Trent Johns. As I know Haller would love to try to jump up there, gain a top 10 here this evening. Now, luckily enough, he does have a huge gap between himself and Blevins here, about 58 seconds between himself and our 12th place driver there, as Blevins rolls in 12th. Nicholas Wheeler in that 13th position, not too far away from that 15 ride, could potentially get into the battle there for that 12th spot on the speedway. Austin Thompson now rolls in the 14th position. Jason Bogart there in 15th, as Caleb Holloman, I believe, has taken his car officially off the racetrack and out of this race. So hasn't Matthew Wood. So hasn't Kobe Wells, Logan Perriman, Logan Hamilton, and Ben Needis as well, also done for the day. So we started with 21 drivers. We got only 15 still rolling out there on the speedway, as Holloman, Wood, Wells, Hamilton, Needis, and Perriman all done here this evening. So 6 drivers will earn themselves DNFs here this evening, as oh my, Harrison coming in with the 6-7, the 6-7, 6-7. 6-7 Jules coming in, showing the big love here at the Jules again this afternoon, coming in with another big dono here this evening. I appreciate that, brother, coming in again and giving us the fun of the 6-7, as you know, it's 67 laps here in this race. We do see the 6-7 ride of Jack Buelty there in 5th. Maybe that's something's going to happen. Maybe something crazy will happen here late in this race. Maybe that's an omen for Jack Buelty here to have a good run. Maybe find victory lane after 67 laps, the 67 ride. No, he's got to finish probably in the 6th or 7th position. I feel like that's the way it's got to go here. So for Jack, he's in 5th right now. He's beaten the omen, but he does have Landon Burbage back behind him, Evan Stewart, and a few of these other fast cats. I mean, if he makes a mistake, opens up the door, or if he gets cursed here with the 6-7 curse, then, I mean, he's going to finish back in 6th or 7th out there on the racetrack. We'll have to keep a close eye on it, as Bill Fisher says, get in the pit, Jordan. Get in the pit, Jordan. Yeah, he's going to be starting to run on fumes here. I think for him and Zay, they both still have to make their pit stops here. And oh no. Oh no, Applegate. Grant makes a mistake. I believe our 4th place driver may have just been eliminated from this race right here. Goes around, goes for a slide off the racetrack, and as that happens, he gets disqualified. Too many X's, too many issues out there on the speedway, and with all those bad incidences, unfortunately, for the number 57 of Grant Applegate, he unfortunately has been disqualified from this race, man. Heartbreaker there for him. Heartbreaker for that number 57 ride, as now he will be set deeper in the field. He'll be back deep in the pack, and unfortunately will not get a good solid top 5 finish here this evening. As Harrison says, you said it, I had to. And Bill, I've been wondering if he is even looking at it or if he's been saving, but you'd think you'd notice his lap times going down. You would think you'd notice that. They have not gone down at all. I mean, he is still running about 0.3 of a second faster than Xavier Rugglebrugge. He's still one of the fastest cars out there on the racetrack up until Applegate just got even deleted. I mean, Terrence Murphy still running slower. I believe, still everyone back behind him has been running slower lap times than this 39 ride. Even with the fresh tires out there on the racetrack, they are still roughly about 0.3 to 0.5 slower than our race leaders. So I mean, Jordan's just still pulling away from all of them. They are not reeling him in at all. So unfortunately, they're still kind of at a disadvantage, even with the newer tires out there on the speedway. And the only big question mark would be is if he does run out of fuel. If he ran out of fuel, and potentially, somewhere like right here, or at the top of the hill here, outside of corner 1 into corner number 2. If he runs out of fuel, he's not making it back to the start-finish line. He's not making it to pit road. You can coast for a while. You can coast down this hill, but there's no way you're going to get all the way back to pit lane here. I mean, and that's going to cost him, even if he did, so much time being without power and being out of fuel. So you got to make sure that you do not run out, because if you run at the wrong spot at the wrong time, I mean, you're going to give everything you have plus some back to all these other drivers in this late in the race. I mean, with only, 6 laps left to go here, I mean, it's going to be pretty much impossible for him to gain that back and to get himself back into the battle here today. Unfortunately, we did see Wyatt Mickelson run into some issues here as well. Mickelson has now been down pit road here for a few laps, has now fallen a few laps down, as right here you see him lose the rear end, make hard contact with one of those safer barrier walls. Unfortunately, really heavy right front damage on that 51 machine, and I believe that's what takes him down pit road here. Yeah, he's going to get into the next corner. The car just will not turn. He tries to get it to turn in there. Unfortunately, does not turn very well. I believe the next time by, he ends up towing that thing down pit side, and unfortunately, that's going to end up costing him a lot of time out there on the speedway. Now, we saw Evan Stewart run into a bit of an issue there as well. For Evan, he does lose, I believe, position number 6 to Terrence Murphy. Murphy gets around him here. Let's take a look back, see what happened to this 37 as the Fish Speed ride shoots it in here, gets up off the racing surface. A little bit of the grass right there. He had a pretty good gap. There it is. Just blows it in there too deep into the sand here. Luckily enough, this car does not get stuck. Able to get rolling back in onto the racetrack, but lost a ton of time right there. And that's what allowed Terrence Murphy to get around him and move himself up and into that 6th position. As here we go. Fisher down pit side. Fisher finally hits pit road. He's done his stop. He's rolling back out there. Xavier Rugglebrugge does stay out for another lap here. So Zay, looking to see if maybe he can lead a lap. I mean, technically, he's got this race lead. This is the first time we've seen another driver here this evening in the top spot. This is the first time another driver has been scored in position number 1 all evening long. Fisher, though, back in second. He's running, still in position number 2. He was able to make this pit stop, come back out onto the racetrack, still finds himself in front of Smith, Buelty, Burbage, Murphy, Stewart. All these other drivers are still way back there behind him. So, I mean, it's still working out nicely for him. Now, Applegate is back out there after serving his penalty. He has jumped back into the action, and he may have some fresh tires on this car. He's trying to make a lot of big moves here, trying to find his way back up towards the front as he battles here with Trent Johns now for the 8th position on the speedway. But Zay out in front of the field, leading this race here right now. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how far he can go with fuel. Jordan Fisher, though, having to come down pit road, you got to imagine that Zay cannot go much farther, as I think he knows, just making Dad nervous. I think that's all he was doing there as well, Bill. Harrison says, after seeing his performance tonight, I know I'm definitely scared of the Fish now. He's killing it out there. He's definitely killing it out there. Bill says his racing in GT3 being rated number 1 in the world kind of helps. Yeah, that kind of helps a little bit. Unfortunately, puts the rest of these guys at a major disadvantage. But Zay, I do believe, did not lead a lap. His pit stall is before the start-finish line. There's the start-finish line right there. So Zay did not lead a lap right there. Jordan Fisher ends up leading that lap, gets back around Xavier Rugglebrugge. Unfortunately for Zay, does not get a lap led here this evening. Fisher still stays perfect out there on the racetrack, but Zay was able to sit out in front, or at least say that he had the race lead for, a lap out there on the racetrack, or at least majority of a lap out there, but unfortunately, Zay did not get the lead. Lap number 63 here this evening. Fisher stays out in front and stays perfect as the Fish out, again here to a major lead here as we do see Zay. He's able to get out. He stays in second here. Good pit stop for him. He's able to keep himself about 6 seconds in front of Joseph Smith. So Smith will be trying to track him down, trying to reel him in here late in this race to see if he can try to steal that second spot from him. But for Jordan Fisher, he's got the race lead. He's got 17.2 seconds between himself and Xavier out there on the speedway. So, he's just sitting pretty here. Out for a nice little Sunday cruise, hitting his marks. No care in the world right now for this 39 of Jordan Fisher. And I believe Fisher even lit the 8 ride of Trent Johns and Grant Applegate back around him here as well. So it looked like he got to allow these guys to move on around him, allowed them to get back on the lead lap and back into the battle. Unfortunately, here they're still quite a ways back there behind the rest of the field as Evan Stewart also finds himself a lap down. Haller's a lap down there in that 10th position, but really, there's not a lot of other battles going on out there on the racetrack. Everyone's pretty spread apart out there on the speedway. As of right now, one of the best battles is between Trent Johns and Grant Applegate there for the 7th and 8th position here on the speedway. For Jordan Fisher, though, he's out in front. He continues to just keep on doing his thing out there on the speedways. Harrison says, that's amazing. I can only dream of his skill and confidence. Yeah, that is absolutely for certain, man. The skill, the talent that this 39 ride has, and the way he's still pushing himself and still trying to learn more and more and trying to put himself into a better position, everything else, man, definitely just shows the commitment and the want that the 39 ride has. That is for absolute certain. As Bill says, Harrison, he loves to help other drivers get better. Yeah, he's really good at that too, man. Fish speed brakes, get a hold of him. He can help you out. He can definitely point you in the right direction, give you training sessions, and make you into a better racer as well, man. You see a lot of fish speed rides out there on the speedways. Fisher always willing to help and make any of these drivers in the series that much better, give them those tips and tricks and try to help them along here with their development here in iRacing as well. As Fisher, definitely a man of the people, and will definitely help point you in the right direction. As Fisher, though, out in front, will click off another lap as 65 laps now completed. 2 laps left to go here this evening. 2 more laps left to duke it out here from COTA. So for each and every one of these drivers, a couple more laps left to battle as, Fisher's still just kind of just rolling nicely out there. He's not pushing it here. He's actually turned the pace down here by, I would say, a couple seconds that he's just kind of rolled out of the throttle. He's still running really good lap times here. Still some of the best lap times out there on the racetrack compared to a lot of these other drivers. But, he's not pushing the subject. He knows there's only a couple laps left to go. He's got 17 seconds between himself and Xavier Rugglebrugge. Smith another 7 seconds back there in third. Bealty another couple seconds back there in position number 4 with Landon Burbage rounding out our top 5. Terrence Murphy, who scored in 6th, had just got himself a black flag here. Looks like that is going to be cleared. I believe that may have been something to do with pit road out of that corner there. Luckily enough, that does get cleared. He does not have to serve that penalty, so that's great news there for Terrence Murphy. Applegate there in 7th. Trent Johns in 8th. And you do see Evan Stewart right there. Evan's trying to work himself a little farther forward, seeing if he can try to maybe save another position here, see if he can work his way around Trent Johns for that 8th spot on the speedway. Ryan Haller's back there in the 10th position, man. Good run here for Haller, back up inside the top 10. Wheeler's there in 11th. Stephen Blevins back in 12th. And then we do see Austin Thompson in 13th with Jason Bogart back there in 14th with Wyatt Mickelson Back in the 15th position, down pit side. Caleb Holloman, Matthew Wood, Colby Wells, Logan Hamilton, Bennett Needis, and Logan Perriman at the rear of the field here this evening. Now we do see Bogart able to snag an extra spot there as he does leapfrog Wyatt Mickelson and jumps into position number 14 now, and Mickelson unfortunately falls back to that 15th spot here on the speedway. But for Jordan Fisher, man, out in front, just feeling absolutely A-okay, man. He's just cruising, man. White flag is out. Final lap around here on a cruise. You can almost call this a victory lap out there, but I think half this race has been a victory lap for Jordan Fisher. So Jordan just on cruise control here, headed down and through the halfway marker of this racetrack here at the beautiful Circuit of the Americas. And for the Fish Speed Breaks Ford Mustang of Jordan Fisher, the TI Racing ride out in front of the field all night long has just been absolutely sitting perfect. And here he is looking to try to navigate his way up and into victory lane here at COTA, man, after a perfect day of racing, a perfect day here for the 39 machine. And for all the Fisher fans in the stands, man, make some noise here for your driver. Put some comments in the chat. Let's see you guys cheer this guy on, because Fisher has just been absolutely dominant all evening long. And here he comes down through our final corner here at COTA, and down the front straightaway, the 39 ride of Jordan Fisher will pick up the checkered flag here at the Circuit of the America, as it is Jordan Fisher who gets it done and picks up the dub here in this one, man. What a run, what a race, what a performance. 67 laps all led by this 39 ride. Absolutely insane run, absolutely insane performance there for Jordan Fisher here today. As we'll take a look back there behind him, Xavier Roggelbrogge will come home in second. Smith down across the line will come home in third. Jack Bulty's there in fourth. Then we do see Landon Burbage a little farther back here as Burbage rolls nice and easy down through the final couple corners here at COTA, and he'll head to the start-finish line. And for Landon Burbage, he will finish this race back in that fifth position. But showing you how far it was between first to fifth out there on the speedway was a major gap. Here comes Terrence Murphy down across the line. I believe Applegate, he's still rolling. Evan Stewart, he's up into eighth here. Trenton Johns back in the ninth position. Now, luckily enough, he will not fall any farther back, but I think he's going to have a hard time trying to gain any extra spots here, as Applegate and Evan Stewart still yet to finish here as they head down through our final couple corners out there on the racetrack. Applegate down and through the final corner, back down across the line. He will finish this race back in seventh. Here comes Evan Stewart as well down across the line in position number 8. And a little farther back, you will see Trent Johns rounding out our top 9 here on the speedway there, as it took them a little while longer. But for Jordan Fisher, picks up the dub here. Zay gives him some congratulations here. Cheers Mon says, man, that was a hell of a show, hell of a run right there. And now he'll take himself down pit side. The rest of this field will get ready to watch this 39 machine celebrate here this evening, as Jordan Fisher with the dub will get ready to party hard here at COTA, as our boy Harrison coming in, showing the big love again with the 20 joules for that. GG's in the chat here for the 39 of Jordan Fisher, as he gets ready to celebrate here this evening. As we do see Rodney with the congratulations, Jordan. Harrison with the GG's for 20 joules. Andrew Sue says, congratulations, Jordan. Fear the fish. Fear the fish. Says, fish speed, baby. Fish speed. Jack Luke says, fear the fish. Fear the fish, Jack. Fear the fish. There's this great job, 39 Fisher, man. Great run for Fisher. Great performance for him. And now a great burnout as well, as Fish in the chat. Fish1 says, domination. Fear the fish. Absolute domination, man. Absolute domination here from Jordan Fisher. Fish Mom says, fear the fish. That's my boy. Congratulations, Jordan. Bill Fisher says, nice race, Jordan. Great race there for Jordan, man. Hell of a show for him. Andrew Sue says, congratulations to everyone else. Fun race, fun performance, man. These guys put on a hell of a show for us here this evening. And Holler in the chat here. Holler in the chat. Hey, it's Kev says, top 10 for the taco car. Top 10 for the taco car. Hey, that's a good day at the Speedway for you, brother. Says, only one freaking spin. Thought I could have a 0 spin race. Kept the car clean the whole race. Congrats to Jordan. Congrats to Jordan there. And great race there for Holler as well. Yeah, man, I mean, it's no easy task keeping these things pointing the right direction for 67 laps at a tricky road course like Coda. And to only have one spin, I mean, that's still a pretty good, solid, successful day and a top 10 performance to back it up as well. As Anna Alessandro in the chat says, great job, Landon. Great job there. Good race by Mr. Burbage. Unfortunately, fell back there. A couple mistakes in that final run, but still a really, really good, solid top 5 drive there for the 2 ride of Landon Burbage. As we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here for their post-race interviews. Post-race interviews coming up next as we'll get Jordan Fisher and the rest of the top 3 up here into the booth. Hey, Jordan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yes, I got a copy.
Jordan, man, what a run, what a race, brother. Take us back through it. What's going through your mind after a dominant day here at the Speedway and parking this 39 machine up and into victory lane?
Yeah, I mean, from start to finish, it was a clean sweep for the 39 machine, and then, it was exactly what we needed for the points. And yeah, so we're really starting to heat up here the last couple of weeks, putting in these good results. And at the end of the day, now we're going to Chicagoland next week. So, at this point, we just got to, be consistent rest of the season. We're in a really good position in the playoffs. So, yeah, it's gonna start heating up once we get to the end here.
Yeah, absolutely going to really start to heat up. We get closer and closer to the playoffs. And for yourself, as he said, man, you're clicking on all cylinders right now, man. You've had some really good performances. You've had some luck kind of on your side after a few weeks of having no luck or bad luck, at least, at a few of these races. So, I mean, you've kind of flipped the script there on that, man. It's got to feel pretty good to kind of have, these good runs, the luck and the momentum on your side here and pointing you in the right direction out there on the Speedway.
Yeah, it's definitely pointing in the right direction going forward here. So, we just got to carry the momentum going forward and see how this kind of plays out. And huge credit to all the drivers out there as they have incredible speed tonight. Showed really good consistency out there, and the rest of the field out there.
Yeah, man, these guys put on a show for us, including yourself, obviously being that reflection of perfection, leading all the laps here this evening, and really the only time we saw somebody pass you was when you made that green flag pit stop and Zay was able to jump in front of you there. Unfortunately, he still wasn't able to lead a lap as you were able to get back around him as his pit stall was just before that start-finish line. So he didn't get to lead a lap either, but for yourself, man, just a perfect day here at the Speedway, and you get to celebrate here at Coda, man. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and great performance out there on the Speedway?
I want to thank Evan Stewart for putting on this great league as always. I want to thank all the CHR guys. They all ran really great tonight. So those guys have been fantastic to work with. Showing great speed with, competing against them. I want to thank my amazing girlfriend as always for supporting me as always. My family continuing to watch as always, and you putting on a great broadcast as always, Aaron. So, and as well as everybody in the Fish Speed Breaks community looking to get faster, working on that coaching and all that track guide videos. And so, yeah, everybody, thank you.
Absolutely, Jordan. Well, great run, great performance for you here tonight, man. We look forward to seeing you back out there and back in action again next Sunday night and seeing if you can park this 39 ride right back up here and into victory lane, brother. Congratulations on the dub, and don't party too hard down there in the Circuit of the Americas victory lane.
Thank you, guys. Fear the fish.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Jordan Fisher. As Harrison says, amazing commentary, Peacemaker, great stream. I appreciate that, brother. Appreciate you coming in, showing the love, hanging out with us here this evening, and with the Jules as well, with the donos here throughout the night. And we can't wait to now bring in our second place finisher, Xavier Rogelbrugge. Zay comes home in second. Let's get him up here into the booth. Hey, Zay, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Say, man, great run, great race for yourself here tonight, man. Take us back through this one. As obviously we see you not get a qualifying lap in. You start at the back of the pack, and quite early on, you're able to navigate your way up inside the top 10 before your first issue, early in this race as well. But there was a lot of issues for a lot of drivers throughout the first couple laps of this race, and that kind of helped you and propelled you to navigating, racing your way all the way up into position number 6 prior to a little bit of contact, a little bit of an issue, and then you kind of went around. You battled back, though, still ended with a good amount of points in stage number 1. In stage number 2, you jump up there, you get after it, and you end up coming home second there in that second stage, and you back it up with a good battle with Smith and with Landon Burbage, and you park this number 5 ride up on the podium in position number 2 here this evening, man. Take us kind of back through what's going through your mind after 67 laps of chasing down that 39 ride at Jordan Fisher.
Oh man, well, jeez. Well, for one, this race was way too long. Like, geez, it was like 2 hours long. Oh my god. Probably one of the most outside of when I did the 24 earlier this year. This is probably the most exhausted I've been in a while. But yeah, good day. Unfortunate. Unfortunate circumstances. From last week. It was honestly pretty embarrassing for me. Last week with the whole incident with Trent. But you know what? We moved past that. And even with this penalty I had with no qualifying, I was able to get back in the second. I mean, the first stage, yeah, it was an uphill battle. I was able to make a lot of positions up early. Had that spin that unfortunately set me back a little bit. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it affected me too much because I think I finished P5 in that state in the first stage. I was able to get by Logan coming to the line, so I don't know if that's showing up on the standings or whatever. Because I know we had to throw the cautions early because road course and all that. But yeah, good points day. Jump up to 9th in points. Everyone between like 9th and 4th in the standings right now is basically under a blanket. So, if I have a good day at Chicagoland, maybe jump up 2-3 spots. Just gotta keep this consistent pace up. Just gotta keep these consistent finishes up because literally this season it's literally checkers and wreckers for me. I'll either finish in the top 5 or I will just wreck. And that's not really championship. That doesn't scream championship run. So hopefully this summer stretch I can clean it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to figure out and get a little bit better at just being consistent, having those consistent finishes, and being up here, on the podium every night, or at least up inside the top 5, top 10, without having those DNFs in bad nights. Because that's exactly right, man. You have those inconsistencies. That's where you lose championships. So to have that opportunity to go battle for the championship, you got to clean those up. And I'm sure, without a doubt, you'll figure that out, and you'll be up there duking it out here with Fisher, Wood, and the rest of these guys for the championship here this season. But for yourself, obviously here tonight, a great race. Everyone was kind of, battling with one another, except for Jordan Fisher, who was kind of in a league of his own here this evening out in front, just kind of on cruise control out there, way in front of you guys. But, kind of take us through that. Obviously, everyone knew that Fisher was going to be probably the car to beat here this evening. Obviously, Wood was going to be a bit of a threat for him, but he had his issues, and that kind of opened up the door for you guys to battle and duke it out for P2 here this evening, and you were able to come out on top with that second place finish.
Oh yeah, Fish, he's always the class of the field. On ovals we have a shot, but on road courses there's no point. He did say I had good pace tonight, and I feel like compared to everyone else, I was definitely the second fastest car. But just gotta find that little bit extra more to catch Fish because man, in practice he set the fastest time by over a second. So I mean, I don't know how he does it. I know he comes from a GT road course background, but man, he is just on another level when it comes to these road courses. He's basically our SVG. So, yeah, gonna have plenty of opportunities to beat him this season. I'm just hoping that at some point in the season I can get my first win in this league.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure without a doubt, one of these nights we'll finally see you, break through, park this fine ride up and into the winner's circle. But here tonight, you gotta settle for position number 2. Zay, who'd you like to thank for such a great run and strong drive out there on the speedway?
Man, obviously want to shout out all my teammates at CHR, Joseph Smith, Landon Burbage, Lucian Thompson, who wasn't here tonight, Joshua Nunez, who was acting as crew chief and kind of spotter for all of us, always giving us good comms during these races. Our bird's eye telling us what's going on track. Obviously, want to give a shout out to Nick Wheeler, our part-time guy. He's been doing a great job filling in for whether it be Lucian or Joshua. Hopefully he can start racking off top five soon. Want to give a shout out to Fish Speed, obviously Jordan Fisher. Grateful that I'm a part of his little squad. And shout out to everyone that came out tonight watching these races. Shout out to my grandma, and shout out to all the admins for putting on a great show as always.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Zay, great run, great performance out there on the speedway, brother. Congratulations on the second place finish. We can't wait to see you guys back out there on the speedway again next Sunday night, and maybe one spot better for yourself and up and into victory lane.
Yes, sir. See you then.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Xavier Ruggle-Bruggy, as Zay comes home in position number 2. Great run, great drive there for Mr. Ruggle-Bruggy, as we'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher, the 31 of Joseph Smith. Hey, Joseph, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Joseph, man, great run, great race for yourself here tonight, man. Take us back through this one as we saw you kind of, up there battling at the front of the field for a majority of this race. But there was a point there where you kind of fell back into about that 9th, 10th position, battling hard there with the 0-9 ride. And unfortunately, it ended up costing you quite a bit of spots. And yeah, to battle your way back up through the field, and you slice and dice your way through that traffic through this final stage, and you still come home with a very, very solid third place run, man. Take us back through what's going through your mind.
Yeah, I'm satisfied with the top 3. I felt like I was kind of struggling and just kind of holding on the whole race, so I'm pretty happy I got a top 3. I'm tired. I can't really feel my left foot, and that race felt really long, and I didn't even get much sleep today. So yeah, I'm tired. Um, yeah, it was not an easy race at all. Coda is a very tough track, and then everyone in this league is really good at road courses. So yeah, I can't just cruise. I have to go kind of full push the whole time to keep up. So yeah, it's exhausting. It was a good day for my team. We all finished in the top 5. We all ran in the top 5 all day, so it was great for the team. We all did really strong. Sorry if I'm just I'm just tired. But yeah, it was just overall it was a good day. I can't complain.
Yeah, absolutely. Good day, good race here. And as you said, man, yeah, definitely a long one. 67 laps here at a road course is no, easy task. And I mean, even if it was a racetrack like Watkins Glen or Sonoma, I mean, still really, really long races doing 67 laps. So, I mean, round of applause to all of you guys to be able to stick with it, keep on battling, and being able to survive, a full 67 lap race here. I mean, which is, I don't even know. I mean, I think they run off of what, 70% of the real race
Yeah,
length. So I mean,
I can't imagine doing the real full length.
yeah, exactly. And in one of these cars, I mean, that'd be an exhausting day, a very tiring day for all of you guys. I mean, after 67 laps, sounds like you, Fish, or Zay. I feel like everyone's probably fairly tuckered out. So we won't keep you up here much longer. But man, that was a hell of a show, hell of a run here after 67 laps of nonstop battle in here tonight. Joseph, who would you like to thank for such a great run and great drive out there on the speed?
I'd like to thank everyone at Fishbeard supporting me. My friends and family at home, all my teammates, Chesapeake Racing, Full Throttle Motorsports, And that's it.
Beauty. Well, Joseph, great run, great performance here this evening, brother. Congrats on the third place run, and we'll see you back out on the Speedway next Sunday night. Maybe a couple spots better and up into victory lane.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Joseph Smith. As Joseph comes home in position number 3. Great run, great drive, amazing performance there for that 31 ride here today, man. And a huge congrats to all of these drivers, man. Great racing, great runs, great performances from each and every one of these competitors, man. These guys put together an amazing show for us tonight, man. Amazing show, an amazing race, and the action was just non-stop here for all of us to enjoy here this evening. And if you guys did enjoy that racing action, make sure you guys do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button on the broadcast for us, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, become part of the Peacemaker family, turn those bell notifications on, that way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker. But unfortunately, that's going to do it for us here tonight. Thank you all for watching, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you guys back here in the next one, man. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
Yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, Peacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy.